Hey, so actually, I just realized what happened there. Welcome to Tier Ranker Fights. So I think when I went to edit it, there's a little button that like mutes all the audio, and I forgot to unclick the little box. So sorry about that, but you can kind of see what we're doing tonight. We're doing best winter sports movies. So yeah, maybe I'll go back in and do a re-upload of the intro with the correct audio. But anyways, welcome. I'm your host, Jordan Movie Hero Anderson, tonight, and I am going to go ahead and introduce our crew for tonight. So we had a fun time kind of going back through some of these winter sports movies. You got your hockey movies, you got your like ice skating, sled dog teams, bobsled. You got a bunch of classic movies. So we'll have some fun talking about them tonight. But I'll introduce my host, Austin Pez.
As long as you can hear our beautiful voices, that's all that matters, Jordan.
Right.
It's fine.
Yep.
Don't worry about your stock music. It's all right. No,
Yep.
we're good. Yeah, no, it's all good. We're gonna have fun tonight. Much like the basketball one, we might be stretching the definition of S tier with this winter sports list, but we'll see. We'll still have fun, and but there's still some movies that are definitely deserving of it on here, and some movies that are not so deserving on here that I'm sure I'll bring up. So we'll have a little fun, and yeah, let's get a little chilly and talk about winter sports movies.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and
the ugly.
Everything. Everything in between, and then it's also to coincide with the Winter Olympics that are going on right now. So that's kind of why we chose for this time of the year to do this. But we'll also bring in Chris Scott. How's it going?
What's up, guys? So to coincide with Winter Olympics, I've actually caught some of the events, man, and I can't imagine being laying down that little sled with like very any padding, like flying down that with the single man luge,
going like
a luge. Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah,
hell
basically just like crumble to pieces.
But I feel like it's not even really a sport. You're just hanging on for dear life and hoping you don't die. That's all that does.
Right?
It is insane. So major props to the Olympians that actually like get out there and
brave
do
enough
it.
to do that.
Holy shit! Yeah, nope. Because dude, I am really excited to be here for another episode of Movie Tier Ranker Fights. So I'm glad my schedule lined up. So I'm excited.
Yeah. All right.
Happy to have you. But we also have Richie Goodacare in the house, aka Most Valuable Primate tonight.
That's correct. What's going on? And to coincide with the Winter Olympics, I decided to live on the hottest place on Earth, Australia. So it should be fun.
Yeah. To coincide.
You guys get all kinds of snow there, right? Yeah, you guys have all kinds of winter games going on all over the place.
Yeah. I don't know the snow you speak of. What the fuck is that?
That makes me curious. Does Australia have a bobsled team?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
no, you guys are strange.
Yeah.
Australia's more of a Summer Olympics country.
Y'all are more of a summer country. Yeah.
I just converted the degrees it is now to Fahrenheit because you do Fahrenheit. It's in Fahrenheit it's 84 degrees. So
hey, nice. All right.
It sucks.
Not bad at all. I'd be cool with that, but
and everything wants to murder you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All the animals. Yeah. But good. We also have Ross Bristow with us tonight. How's it going?
Hey guys, and Richie, I'm right there with you. I live in San Diego, and today at noon it was 85 degrees. So the term winter doesn't really exist in my area either. But I'm excited. I do love the winter sports movies, and then I just have not been watching any of the Olympics. I've just been too busy. But I do love to watch curling. How come there's no curling movies yet?
Yeah,
there's one Canadian curling movie on the list, but I don't think anybody's seen it. There is one that I found. Yep. It's like a Canadian movie, but yeah, it's like it's called Men with Brooms. So there is one movie, but I did not get a chance to watch it. I don't think it's going to come up, but there is a curling movie, which I can't imagine it's terribly exciting, but I never know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Curling's hard to do. I could never imagine doing curling though.
Yeah, there's a lot of accuracy, and I don't know how like how it works, but yeah, somehow
It's just a glorified version of that bar game, where you just slide the thing
Yes.
across the
Shuffleboard.
table. It's just it's
Yeah.
a glorified version of shuffleboard.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's be real.
Yeah,
On the ice.
right. But I did catch a little bit of the Olympics. I saw that like I was watching the downhill mogul skiing, and there was a Chinese girl that like took a huge tumble down the hill, and she like cut up her face pretty bad, but she's still able to come back and compete because the injuries were only cuts to her face, and I guess you can still ski even if you have a cut up face. So
Yeah,
so, yeah, kind of interesting, but Austin, do you want to break it down to everyone how it's going to work while I bring up the
yeah.
chart?
Yeah, he'll bring up the chart. Everybody on this show has been a part of these panels before, so nothing new for anybody on this panel. But for anybody watching who's not familiar, tier ranker fights is basically Jordan's going to slide us over to the left as he pulls up our tier ranker chart. Basically, we've got, I believe, 46 movies available. Again, we kind of stretched the definition of winter sports for a couple of these, and we had to pull a few DVD movies and a few TV movies, which we usually don't do. But when I make the initial list and I only have about 28 movies, we had to stretch what we could to kind of stretch the list out a little bit. It just kind of is what it is. But yeah, so we make exceptions every now and then. But yeah, we'll go around the horn. And as of right now, so Ross will be the first one to start. He can pick any movie he wants and nominate it for any rank on the chart there. And we go S for superior. So we're going to be looking for a top 10 superior ranking, and then we'll pull 3 honorable mentions from the A tier. But you can pull any movie for any ranking, and we'll go around the horn, and everybody can agree or disagree and say what ranking they would give it. And about a minute or less a piece, and then we'll move on to the next person, move on to Richie and Chris, and so on and so forth. And we'll just do whatever movies we can within about 2 hours, and then we'll start to wrap it up with a Hail Mary round. So that's just kind of how it works. And the top 10 and the 3 honorable mentions we'll throw into a poll on the Shimoda and Friends and Family page, and we'll see what comes out on top. And much like we've been doing, we're slowly building towards a sports championship, like we're building all these series. So our top 10s of all these different series will be in a sports championship, and we'll see what we got. So yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Yeah. And I just put all the movies in the private chat while Austin was giving a little intro there. So so if you have any questions about what's on the list, it'll be in the private chat. So
all right.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So Ross, you'll be up first. So
okay,
you have one you want to nominate and talk about?
I'm going to put another. I think the director's name is Gavin O'Connor, and that for the S tier again, and that's Miracle.
Yeah.
Miracle is not my favorite hockey movie of all time, but it is. I think that it is the best made hockey movie all the time for S. And then they actually got instead of does the opposite. Like off screen is where you usually get these actors to skate. They actually got real life hockey players. And then they sent them to a camp. So yeah, so now I do love this movie. This movie, is very good, now and then Kurt Russell actually gives the best performance of his career, so yeah, so this
really
movie, Gavin O'Connor has not made a bad movie yet, so yeah, this one is an S tier, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Richie?
Yeah, I like Miracle fine. I probably don't love it as much as some other people. I think it's I think it's pretty good, pretty good hockey movie. I don't know about it being the best performance of Kurt Russell's career, but that's another debate for another time. But he's really good in it. He's really good in it. I mean, as we sort of discussed at the start of the show, it's we're gonna we're gonna be a bit more lenient with what S is, because there's a lot of there's a lot of low tier winter sports movies. So I maybe put it A personally, but I have no problem if it lands on S, then it's fine.
Yeah. Well, maybe if it was an Australian hockey team. Oh wait, does it say I don't know. It's so hot there. All right. Yeah. But Chris, what do you think?
I agree. A Miracle is an amazing story about perseverance. I mean, up to this point, Canada kind of ruled the roost. So the one time that USA kind of upset them is amazing. So I knew what I meant. You know what? Yeah, that was really dumb.
I thought it was Germany. I think it was Germany.
No, Miracle
Those
is about us upsetting Russia. It's about taking out the
Yeah.
Ruskies.
Oh,
Yeah.
take out the Ruskies.
Well,
Anyways,
Uh-huh.
no one's working out. But yeah, it's an S tier movie.
those damn commies, we got to take them out. Yeah.
USSR. Yeah.
Yeah, but Austin.
Yeah, no,
USSR.
it's funny. You can go back and watch the original game, the hockey game that this movie's based on from 1980, and it's still a very exciting game just to go watch. And the movie kind of writes itself. I'm not saying that it's incredibly inventive hockey film, but it's still a really good telling of the story for anybody who didn't know it already. And it's a very important movie, to Americans, obviously, maybe not so much internationally, but it was a big deal at the time. Yeah, we were upsetting Russia, who kind of owned hockey at that point, and even Canada was up there too. USA didn't really pose a threat around that time, so the fact that we upset them, and it was a really big deal in sports history. I think the movie is very well done. Like I said, Gavin O'Connor, would go on to do sports movies are kind of his thing. Obviously, he went on to do Warrior, and he's been a really solid director. But yeah, this is good stuff here. I mean, I don't think it's like the greatest movie ever or anything like that, but for the purposes of this for this ranking, I'm definitely okay with putting it in the S tier because it's one of the higher quality movies on the list. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Gavin O'Connor got a couple of sports movies with Warrior, and then he has The Way Back. So I mean, he's done a couple other sports movies. So, but like this movie's really, really great, and it is one of those movies that you kind of know the outcome going into it, but just to hear about the story of it, kind of leading up to it, and what this coach Herb Brooks was actually like. He can kind of Kurt Russell kind of portrayed his likeness on screen, and just getting to know all the different players and stuff. It's a fun time. Like it's not something that normally I'd put in the S tier, but for winter sports movies, like it's right at the top. So I think that it deserves an S tier. So yeah.
Yes, my fun fact though, like there's this documentary about the other side about the Russians losing called Red Army, documentary about the Russian hockey team. And
I didn't know that.
They literally, if they missed a pass or a shot, they could be sent to the gulag.
Oh dang!
it's like what happened to Ivan Drago when he lost to Rocky and he got sent off to Ukraine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're pretty intense.
Yeah, exercise for the country.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll throw it over to Richie. You're up. So you got one you want to talk about?
All right. Yeah, I'll go an underrated one, which I think I think not many people talk about. But I still reckon it's really good, and that's Mystery Alaska. I think Mystery Alaska is a really good hockey movie about this amateur team that gets a chance to go up against the New York Rangers. It's got a lot of heart. Russell Crowe's in this; he's really good. And Hank Azaria is really good as a dick, playing dick. Directed by Jay Roach, Austin Powers, Meet the Parents, and it's just a really charming movie. It's really funny. And I think more people need to talk about it. So I would definitely put it in S tier because I think more people need to talk about this movie.
Yeah, sounds good. Chris, what do you think from Mystery Alaska?
So I have never seen Mystery Alaska, so I can't really comment on this one.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, it's very similar to Rocky in that it's like this little hockey team that gets a chance to play like a professional team. The Rangers, kind of like how Rocky was getting his chance to fight Apollo Creed, for the title, just kind of out of nowhere, and it becomes almost like a Rocky story of nobody takes him seriously. It's just going to be like this, whatever, they're going to think it's like a practice or something like that, and it ends up being a really nice inspirational story. Yeah, I think it's definitely an underrated movie that is kind of underseen, and it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember it being really good. And this is kind of before Russell Crowe sort of blew up, with like Gladiator, like a year after, and would get Oscar nominations and such. But yeah, I think it's really good solid cast. Again, we're stretching a little bit for the definition of S tier. I would probably put this a little bit on the lower end of the S tier, but I'm okay with it being there because again, it's one of the higher quality movies on the list, and it's a really solid hockey movie. So I'm okay with it being where it is.
Yeah. And a little breaking news about about Russell Crowe. I actually heard the news he's going to be in the new Kraven the Hunter movie for Sony coming up. So I'll be looking forward to that one because Kraven the Hunter is my favorite Spider-Man villain. So yeah, so having Russell Crowe, that's always a plus. So yeah. But unfortunately, I have not seen Mystery Alaska. So I had a choice right before we went live, and for some reason I like overlooked it. Like I probably should have watched it, but instead I watched Snow Dog just because I couldn't like find anything better to watch. So I just like, but I should have like not overlooked Mystery Alaska because I have a habit of like looking at a list and like easily overlooking things. That's just something that I do. But yeah. So I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. But it's definitely high on my list to watch. So I'm looking at the cast. I mean, you have Mike Myers in it. Also, you have Kevin Durant, who like pops up in a lot of things. It's like a good villain.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds.
And the Burt Reynolds resurgence after kind of after Boogie Nights. Yeah, he kind of started popping up for more stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But Ross, what do you think from Mystery Alaska?
I saw this at 7 years old on TV and I liked it. I just haven't seen it since, so I can't really comment about it. But I did love the South Park spoof of the episode, though.
Oh, they had a South Park spoof. Nice.
Yes, they did. And then like it is like these imagine like Stan is the coach of the team, and they're all like 4-year-olds playing against the Colorado Avalanche, and they're literally now like getting now like pushed up against the wall. Like these adult males are doing that. Like and the score being like 56-0, and then like Stan promised the kid with cancer that like he's gonna try his best to win, and the kid ends up dying of cancer due to how bad he lost.
Nice.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Well,
look at South Park.
Well, for this particular topic, though, I'm still going to let it stay on the chart if at least 2 people have seen it, because I think we're gonna have a lot of I haven't seen it here. So
yeah. And like I said, it may end up ending, scooting in like a 10 slot or something like that, which is fine, So or something, we'll figure it out. But yeah,
you guys both say S tier.
Yeah, we both did. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, again, for the context of this list, much like basketball, you know what I mean? We have to put it in context, but yes.
Yeah, you got to put it in context. Yeah.
I think there's higher quality movies we haven't brought up yet that we will bring up, obviously, but lower end of S tier. But we'll see what happens. All right, Chris.
I gotta definitely bring up Iron Will. So one of my favorite movies is Iron Will. I was lucky enough to, when I went to elementary school, I actually went to school with Jeff Arch, who wrote that and Sleepless in Seattle, which is another amazing movie. But so my whole class got to go see this in theaters. And I got to sit next to him and watch this movie. But I've always loved Iron Will. I think it's an amazing story. It's really powerful. It's absolutely at the top of S tier.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, we'll see what everyone else thinks. I'll just put it there now, but we'll see what the votes have to say. But Austin, what do you think?
I don't think I put it at the top of S tier, but this is one of the ones that snuck in on my personal list when I was looking at the overall winter sports list as far as like one of the better quality movies, because I had actually rewatched this one like a year ago. I remember just popping it up on Disney Plus because I just hadn't seen it in forever, and it's a really good like period piece. I forget that it's set in like what, the 1930s or something or whatever it is. It's a lot of like scenes of people printing up newspapers being like, "Gee golly, did you hear about this little kid who's coming up in the race now?" Like a lot of that kind of stuff. Extra. The kids hanging in there. But yeah, I really enjoyed the training stuff where he's training and kind of learning how to like sleep less essentially and keep moving. You gotta how do you win this race is you sleep 6 hours and then you sleep 5 hours and then you sleep 4 hours and you get up ahead of everybody else and you stay active and do your thing. But I think it's really solid, and it's kind of an underrated sports movie as far as like this Iditarod race, which is still going on to this day, I believe. Like it's a traditional thing. But this is one I would probably actually sneak it into the S tier. I think there's more quality movies we haven't gotten to yet. I wouldn't put it at the top, but this might be like a mid to low S tier for me. But I'll still put it up there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Iron Will's great. Like I grew up watching this. Like my grandparents were always big on like those like true story kind of inspirational movies, and so they showed me this when I was pretty young in it. I really liked it. Like that's a great movie, and the couple kind of interesting actors that show up. Kevin Spacey's in it. Even Brian Cox shows up. So like, there's a couple recognizable people. You see, John Terry, who for those who don't know, he played Jack Shepard's dad from Lost. So he's in there. So there's a few of those guys that'll pop up. But yeah, I will say S tier for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's good where it is. So, Ross, what do you think?
S tier. I remember I liked this movie. I haven't seen it since, but like I remember that kid never did anything else, but he was great. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and Austin. This movie is set in the year 1917.
Okay.
So
okay,
yeah,
even earlier than I thought.
Yeah. So, like this movie's great. I know that Kevin Spacey thing, gets some stigma, but still, like I remember I love this movie, and my grandma actually recorded it off TV, so I can remember. Like every 15 minutes I would see this like Vaseline commercial that was on there. So that's why I always Vaseline. But yeah, but this movie is actually really well made.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Brian Cox is in one of my favorite TV shows that's on right now.
Succession.
Yeah, Succession is amazing.
Yep, Succession. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Also starring Australians.
Yeah.
You think,
Richie?
But yeah, I you brought this up before. I still haven't got around to it, so I haven't seen it, but it'll be on my list.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough. So, I think for now it'll stay in the S tier. I mean, it's kind of
we'll leave it there and we'll play around with it.
It's pretty much neck and neck with Miracle. I think everyone here has actually seen Miracle, so I think maybe in the long run, Miracle may bump up a little bit, but we'll see, and we'll kind of talk about it. But yeah. So Austin.
Okay, I've been teasing it for 2 weeks, so let's talk about MVP, Most Valuable Primate. So I watched it. All right, so all right, I'll get it out of the way, like I do at the beginning of the show. It's on the left side under Goon.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, so D tier. I'll tell you why.
D, okay.
Because for me, the absolute bar of this, which is no surprise, is Ed. Ed is the bar, and Ed is the standard for an F tier sports movie at this point. And the only stuff that's matched it so far has been stuff like Juana Man, it's just equally as horrendous. But here's the reason why it slightly nudges up into D. It's a real monkey. A real chimp, as opposed to Ed, which was like a lady in a suit, which was nightmare fuel, in the costume she was in, and there is no, the chimp in this movie is not going around burping and farting and driving cars and eating and stuffing his face with whipped cream, and all this kind of nonsense. So it at least doesn't have that. I wouldn't say a smarter picture, but it's like a more classy, at least in that way, where it's not going for like toilet humor, every 9 seconds. It's just a boring movie. It's boring in that really with a kids movie like this, it's 90 minutes. With kids movies like this, and it's an Air Bud production, just to let everybody know. Like they literally have their own studio now. Like these are all Air Bud productions. Like it has like the Air Bud logo above all of them. Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, like it. In a movie like this, you really need the chimp to be like putting on ice skates and at least skating around within like 20, 30 minutes, right? Like to keep the kids entertained. He does not put on ice skates until the 55-minute mark. I tracked it, which is unforgivable for a movie like this. Like it is horrendously boring. As far as like, it's more about this brother and sister, and the sister is deaf, so like she ends up connecting with the chimp, doing like basic ASL like sign language with the chimp, and kind of connecting with it. He's like running away because his owner dies, and he hops a train to like this middle of nowhere somewhere. I don't even remember where it's like set. It's like Alaska or something, or whatever it is. Excuse me. I've been talking a lot tonight. I just did another show for 2 hours, and I got to talk again. So I apologize. Excuse me. But again, with a movie like this and the premise where you're plastering the chimp doing, playing hockey and skating around, he needs to at least be in the skates by about the 25-30 minute mark, playing around with his sticks. He needs to be doing something related to that. And the fact that he doesn't even put on a pair of skates till 55 minutes is absolutely inexcusable. And he doesn't even start playing hockey till about an hour and 5 minutes, which is and the hockey scenes aren't even particularly like, I understand you can't practically have a chimp like skating around, you know, like with people, like doing all this kind of stuff. Like it's a double. It's like obviously some kind of kid hockey player with like stuff on his arms to make it look like, you know, hairy chimp arms, you know, in the wide shots, you know, skating around. And the only stuff you get with him is like a drastic close-ups of him kind of skating around. But it's not very entertaining. It's just kind of dull and it's just a kind of a nothing happening movie. So like, it's not as offensively bad as something like Ed, which is why I would scoot it just out of the F tier, but it's also doesn't have a lot of redeeming quality. So yeah, that's my report on MVP. Don't bother, even if you're slightly curious, because it needed to be a little wackier at least. You know, like it doesn't have the charm of an Air Bud where like he's doing that kind of stuff throughout the movie, and there's at least like a little bit more sophistication to it, and at least a little more interesting plots. It's just boring. So D tier for MVP. That's my report. But yeah, well, I didn't watch the snowboarding sequel because I would have had to pay for it, and I'm not going to pay $4 to watch that movie. As
third one too?
I'm just not going to. Oh, it's like, well, there's another one where he's like playing basketball or something. Whatever it was. But
he was a skateboarder. I remember it was called like
skateboarding. Yeah. I you know, I'm just saying there was another winter one where he's snowboarding, but I'm not going to pay $4 to watch it. If it was free somewhere, I might have, but I'm not going to pay to watch that shit. Like I'm just not going to. This one was free on Prime, which is why I watched it. So yeah.
NXT Most Extreme Primate.
Yeah. Oh god. No, I wasn't going to.
Now is the monkey actually in like the beginnings of the movie and stuff? Just not.
He's in the beginning. It's just like no, he's just not. He's not playing hockey. He's like he's like in a school. Like he's part of a program where they like study like they're trying to teach him stuff, and he's part of like the school academic thing or something. So he's not being experimented on or anything like that. There is a guy who wants to like get him back because he runs away, like the owner of the school or whatever. But it's a minor plot that it's nothing happening with it. The guy's really silly, but no, the guy dies and he just like this other guy assistant like scoots him on a train to get him out of there because they want to send him off to a facility to be experimented on, and that's like the subplot, but it doesn't go anywhere. So
okay, so it's not like one of those things where like the little girl end up getting the monkey to like 45 minutes in. Like I just got a monkey and now he's gonna play hockey or whatever.
Well, he's just wandering around. He ends up in the same town, and like he hangs out in like a tree house, and then she finds him, you know, in the tree house, and they kind of bond for a little while before she introduces him to the brother, and you know they sneak him into the house. You know, it's all the typical stuff, kind of like Air Bud. You know, they sneak him into the house, and then they play at this pond, you know, where they play hockey, and then you know he ends up like putting the skates on and skating around, and they find out he's got a wicked slap shot, so we got to put him on the hockey team. Like it's the same thing. It's very similar to Air Bud. It's just more boring. That's all. It's just not as interesting. That's all. I'd rather watch the actual dog that's like shooting the hoops and stuff. You know, hitting the ball in the bed. It's at least impressive and fun to watch. You know, to a point. But yeah, like this one just is dull. So yeah, that's all it is.
Well, surprise! I have not seen this movie, so I
didn't bring anybody. And again, I report on these just for fun because it's like I try to find the wackiest or most worst. You know, we always just leave it up there just because it's whatever. I'm not shooting for an S tier. So it wasn't like a surprising like, oh, this movie's great. Like no,
yeah, right.
No.
We'll see if anyone else has seen it. Ross, have you seen
I have, and it is a D. It's not awful, but I remember I watched it like late at night. So then, like, I remember struggling to stay awake, but I got through it, and it was nothing special. But like, as I finally got myself up to watch it, I was thinking, they're going to make this movie awesome, but they'll never go that route. And if it turned into a semi-remake of Monkey Shines, if he starts like killing the people on the ice.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be quite a twist, but that didn't happen. Yeah,
I know, but that would be amazing.
No Monkey Shines.
Most violent primate.
Yeah,
most violent primate. Yeah.
There you go.
So
MHP, most homicidal primate. Yeah, I want to see that movie.
So the last couple of days, Rex looked at the list. There's a couple of movies I got around to. This was one of them, unfortunately.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think I'm like you in the sense I'm very curious about bad movies. So I heard this is bad, so
yeah.
But D is a good place for it. If you're going in expecting like much from a hockey movie with a monk, monkey. I don't know what to tell you. It's not, it's never going for an A tier or S tier. It is what it is. The biggest crime is it's boring.
That's the biggest. Again,
Yeah.
he needs to be skating around at least doing tricks on the ice within a half an hour, and the fact that it takes almost an hour to get him to do anything hockey related is just unforgivable for a children's movie, like essentially like a family movie. He at least in Air Bud, about 20-25 minutes in, he's at least with the kid on that like back lot, hoops, like at least shooting hoops a little bit, like doing a little, like they get it going, he's doing something, and they work in the other stuff, but like it's just boring. It's just dull. I expected it needed to either be worse, like Ed. It needed to go into Ed territory to be more entertainingly bad, or it needed to just be like a faster movie or a shorter movie. And it's just neither. So that's why it just sits in the D tier.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I watch a movie about the making of Ed because I think the idea of Ed, like
Yeah,
this-
like, that'd be
it is.
The fact that they didn't get an actual monkey, they got like this lady in a suit. The fact that that Matt LeBlanc was in the Height of Friends. He was one of the most popular guys on that show. He just had to be a big star, and he stars in Ed and Lost in Space, and just fucking killed his.
Just killed it dead.
Yeah. Well, Chris, are you still with us, or you have to jump out? Hello. So,
I don't think
he's
seen it, so it's all right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Even if he has, I don't think he's gonna like it. So, but so yeah, we'll leave it there. So, but
Move on to
it's
you.
my turn. So I want to talk about my favorite movie on this list. I'll just start with a bang.
Of course, Cool Runnings, right?
Almost, but
almost.
But that one's up there. But I had to go with my screen name tonight. But I got to go with D2, The Mighty Ducks. So I'm one of those that actually likes the second one better than the first one. Like I just like all the Olympic stuff. I like some of the extra players that they add. Like I like when they had like Rush Tyler, and then they added on the other Bash brother. They had the Cowboy and like Luis Mendoza. They had like a bunch of those guys. So that's always fun. But So for me, like I would say S tier all the way. Like I just love the music too. Like the score's pretty good. Just the story, like it's pretty inspirational, and then it has some comedy. And of course Charlie, like he's a fun character to kind of rally behind, and then Gordon Bombay too. So I mean, like there's a lot of fun characters, and I always love really character-driven movies. Like I kind of gravitate towards those. So this has that, and then it kind of takes what the first one did, and just kind of takes it up a notch. So, but without going way over the top, like sometimes they go too far, and this really kind of takes it like the appropriate like notch up. So I'm gonna say S tier for D2, The Mighty Ducks. So we'll see what you guys think. Ross, what do you think?
Oh, okay. I love the Mighty Ducks series, all of them, but this one's actually my least favorite. Only because, I do love it though, but I wouldn't mind it, I could put all three of them in an S. But then, I think that this one, like the jokes don't land as much, like the first one was the funniest. The second one, it's still good, but then it I just, I didn't really, I don't know, I watched this one, for the show last year, but it's still, it's good, but it's still my least favorite out of the three. So maybe
put it?
A.
Okay.
A, okay.
All right.
Yeah, but if that puck was a cheeseburger, you'd stop it. Like, there's a few quotable lines,
Yeah, there is.
but Richie, what do you think?
No, I think there's a solid argument to have all three in the S tier, and I'm probably like Ross. I think D2 is my least favorite, but it's still very good. I actually probably did one of the rare ones that D3 is my favorite one. But okay. D2 is still good, still watchable, and it's one of the better movies on this list. So I have no problem with it being an S tier.
Sounds good. Well, Chris,
I kind of agree. Like I love this whole series, and actually, my initial name was kind of be like Quack Quack, But it's like,
oh yeah,
I have so many fond memories of those movies, and getting to rewatch them before Game Changers was an awesome experience. So I mean, I want to put all these in S tier, and I know that's a lot for people. So if the only one ended up in S tier was the very first one, I'd be happy with that. So if we ended up putting D2 and D3 and A, I'd be all right with that.
But, what would you rank it? A or S? What would you say?
S.
All right, sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
I'll give you my ranking. I think after this we should just go ahead and rank the other ones too. Like we might as well just get them all out of the way and just go through the whole series and just get everybody's rankings on all of them.
Sure.
D3 is gonna be my next pick anyway.
Yeah, we'll just get them out of the way probably and just do that so we can move on. But yeah, as far as this one goes, I still think the first one's the better story. Hardcore, I think it takes it I think the more serious nature of the story, like it's got the perfect balance of like silly kid stuff and a little more serious. This one definitely takes it up a notch as far as the wackiness and the silliness. Like it's more jokey. There's more cartoon sound effects like in the hockey scenes and there's a couple of subplots that I feel like just get dropped and don't go anywhere. Like the whole thing with him going out on the date with like the Iceland chick, like literally goes nowhere. Like there's one scene of it and then it's just dropped. Like it's never mentioned again. I feel like there's some sloppy stuff in this movie. Like again, I don't hate this movie. Like I put it in A tier. I think it's still really entertaining. I just think it's got too many things to get dropped and it seems a little messier. Like it was edited to shit like in post, like, and they just kind of forget. And the Iceland stuff is fine. I just think Wolf is a little over the top, like, and kind of dry as a villain as opposed to Coach. I think Coach O'Reilly's a better villain from the first one, and there's a better dynamic with him as his former coach. So yeah, I'd put it in A tier personally.
Yeah. Well, we got a couple of S's, but a couple of A. I think probably.
It's three S's and two A's. It's more S's than A's. So we'll see, but we'll get it. Why don't we just go around the horn and rank the other ones as well? We might as well, right? Just talk about the Mighty Ducks in general. So
absolutely.
So do you want to stay? How about we? Well, maybe Jordan, you want to just? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is just a random fact. I was just gonna throw in there. Actually, from this movie, learn what Hassenpfeffern was. It's like rabbit meat. So when like Hassenpfeffern eggs or whatever, it's like eggs with rabbit. That just sounds like disgusting right there. But because
the fact they have discount Hans in this movie instead of real Hans is weird. Like they got like his brother. Like it's odd to me. Like I think it's a step down because I think the actor that plays Hans is just a better actor. I'm blanking on his name, but like the fact that he's not in the movie is a little downgrade. But anyways, why don't we? Well, Jordan, do you want to start? Why don't we rank the other two? So why don't we put like the first one up there and see where everybody thinks, and then we'll do the third one. Like, we might as well just get them up there and just talk about them. The first one's on the right, on the bottom.
Yeah,
there you go. All right.
Yeah. So let's go around the horn. So we'll start with Ross. What do you think?
Okay.
This one is S tier. It's actually my second favorite of the series. Like this one I think is the funniest one out of like all of them. And then I think they'll like that the supporting character is the funniest character, and that was MC Gainey as the limo driver.
Oh yeah.
But still, I still do love this movie. I remember I grew up with it a lot. And then it also had reshoots, which actually made the movie better. But still, but I still love this movie. It's still an S tier for me. Why? Because I think the kids are the funniest in this one. Yeah. So.
Yes. Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, Richie.
Yeah, I would put S tier. Like Austin said, it's probably the best one, the best one in terms of story. My favorite one's probably the one, but in terms of story, the first one's probably the best one. Which is called, once again, I should reiterate, in Australia, for some reason, it's called Champions. And in New Zealand, it's called Champions. Not Mighty Ducks. So S tier.
Yeah.
Chris?
Well, Chris, what do you think?
Absolutely S tier. I remember watching this so many times as a kid. Definitely, I would say it probably is up behind Iron Will for me.
Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Emilio has a little more to do in this movie, a little more to sink his teeth into. When you watch this movie as an adult, there's a lot better themes in this one as far as, it's when it starts with that opening stuff with the flashbacks and you figure out that, he kind of blew the shot. So he's overcompensating as this attorney, thinking he has to win all the time. He's obsessed with winning. He goes into a profession where he's obsessed with that. And again, the dynamic running into his old coach and they're kind of back and forth where he's being like really passive aggressive, just being like, how you doing, man? And I wish I would take that one down, like just right in his face. Like all that stuff is great, when Lane Smith's back and forth with him, you could have been one of the greats, you're not even a has-been, you're a never was. Like all that stuff is the best stuff in that movie. D2 doesn't have anything like that in the whole movie, like the more kind of dramatic, heavier moments. And which is why I think I put the first one a little over, because you still get all the wacky kid stuff, you get all the fun moments, but I think it's just a better underdog story. I think the score is better. There's a reason why the TV show brought back the original score, because I think the score is just excellent in this movie. I think it's just better directed. So I would put this one just at the top of the series, just because of I think when it hits, it really just hits like the dramatic stuff too, in addition to the funny stuff. So I go S tier. I actually go pretty high S tier for Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, and for me, the original is probably my second favorite of the trilogy. Like, and I do like some of the cast that they have, as far as like the kids that don't transition over to the second one. I wish some of them would have done it. There's a couple ones from like Heavyweight, like Dave Karp, and then there's
Aaron Schwartz from this one doesn't doesn't transfer. Danny Tamborelli, like some of those guys.
There's a few of them too, that I kind of wish would have transitioned over, but like there's some fun stuff in it, and like how it gets a little heavy-handed, and you have the whole like quack quack quack, Mr. Ducksworth, quack quack quack, and it shows him like being a lawyer at the beginning, and like how he kind of loses that job, gets a DUI and all that stuff, and then they got some fun stuff doing like the obstacle course at the beginning too. They're like that's pretty fun, and then they got a pretty good villain for the coach of the Hawks. So and I think he's played a villain in like a couple of different movies too. Like, so
and Lane Smith, he's the prosecutor in My Cousin Vinny. He's the very country prosecutor. Remember, like that's kind of like one of his more famous roles. And then he was on Lois and Clark. He was Perry White on the Lois and Clark TV, the Superman TV show. So he was kind of all over the place in the early 90s.
Yeah, died way too young too.
Yeah. And he passed away. Yeah, and he was only in his like 50s or maybe 60s when he passed away. So it's kind of unfortunate.
He had a ALS.
Yeah, so
he was 69.
Oh dang!
Oh wow, okay.
Well, for me, like I like would personally rank D2 higher, but like I have no problem if the original goes higher than D2, because there's a lot of great stuff in it that like I wouldn't mind it at all. So yeah, but I'll say S tier. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a clean sweep for the first one, kind of like Iron Will. So
no, if I'm the third one, wherever that's at, I know
the third one was at the top next to Cool Runnings, up at the top.
For
right
D3,
there. Having Emilio front and center, even though he's in 10 minutes of the movie.
Right. But so Ross, what do you think for the third one?
Actually, this one is an S for me. This is actually like my most favorite Mighty Ducks movie, is because like back when I was a kid, this one was my least, because it like had the least amount of hockey. But I like it now is because it's like more like focused on the characters, and then like brought up a subject that most kids movies won't even go into, that I think that they should about like life after the sport, because the guy says, we don't know what now, like I don't know what I'm gonna do after after this, like he said, I might not want to play hockey for the rest of my life, like, and then it's about Charlie, like learning how to be a humble player and listen to a new coach, even though that that can be hard, like dealing with a new boss at work or something, so so D3 is my favorite, because like treads the line from an adult to a kid's film all at once. Like, and then it actually like has the guy from The Walking Dead who was born like 1965 playing a high school student.
Yeah.
Abraham. Yeah, it's one of the bullies. Yeah.
Well, it sounds good. Richie, what do you think?
Ross literally said everything I was going to say, so I don't have anything more to add. It is my favorite one. I do like how it explores, like things after after sort of hockey and traditional adult life. But and it's definitely the more entertaining one in my opinion, and definitely the one with the cool poster. So I'd say it.
Yeah, sounds good. Chris, what do you think?
I think it's decent. It's not horrible. I mean, it's a Mighty Ducks, so I love it. But it definitely isn't my favorite. I would say that it probably goes, just in order. So the Mighty Ducks, D2, and then D3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with that being said, though, they're absolutely all S tier movies. They're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Austin, what do you think?
See, this is the one where I go B tier, and I think this movie has a lack of Emilio problem, and the fact that how they kind of write him out,
exactly.
like not being a part of it. I don't really like the setting of them just being in this weird like prep school. I don't know why they're all at the same prep school. I'm still confused. I'm always confused when I go back to it. I'm like, this is a high school. Like, why does it feel like some college or something? Like, I don't know. I'm confused about like, are they in high school or are they in college? Like, I think it's kind of muddled. They're getting scholarships to high school. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they don't do high school scholarships. That's weird.
They do.
I guess, but they don't make that very clear. Like, I don't understand why they're all going to the same school when they're from all across the country. I think it just gets a little complicated. I don't think Coach O'Reilly is a super strong character. I mean, he kind of comes around out of nowhere to where he's just like this kind of stern asshole, and then all of a sudden he's like Coach. He's sympathetic to the Ducks, even though he never. I think the turn is too fast. I don't think they develop it enough. It's just like, oh, we see the scene with his daughter, and then all of a sudden he's a nice guy. Like, I don't get the turn. I don't think it's earned. So yeah, it's got decent. It's got some of the better hockey action of the series, but I think the one announcer kid is fucking annoying. The one who's doing the announcing for their matches. Yeah, like he's really annoying. Like that movie lacks, like the first two movies have the one guy who really did the announcing for the Kings, the Sacramento or not Sacramento, the LA Kings or whatever. The actual hockey announcer, like doing the hockey, which gives it a lot of weight, I think is much better. And that kid is like annoying and amateurish. I think it really hinders a lot of it. So I go B tier for D3. I think it's still watchable. I think it's still entertaining, but to me, it's a very flawed movie, and I think it's a vastly inferior sequel.
Yeah, like I'm kind of the same way. For sure, it's my third favorite of the series, and yeah, like the Coach O'Ryan stuff isn't very it's just not a character that I really care for all that much. Like the whole entire movie, like just bring back Gordon Bombay. Like, what are we doing here? Like just have him back in here, or at least have they can make him a more fleshed out character, maybe. But like I never really bought into him. Yeah, and that's probably the weakest point for me. And then like I don't even remember that much of the third one, because first two I can quote backwards and forwards, but then this third one, I don't really quote it that much, but really the only things I remember is that they're at Seton Hall Academy. They're like they got to go up against whatever their varsity team is, and then I remember the scene where they like put all their jerseys in like liquid nitrogen and they shatter. I thought that was kind of a cool scene, but yeah, like I think for me, like normally I give it a B, but I think just based on this list though, and what we have on the list, I still give it an A. I think so. For me, it still makes an A because it's still Mighty Ducks. Still has like most of the main cast minus Gordon Bombay. So yeah, I'll say A. So
okay.
What are the votes at?
So three S's, an A, and a B. So I mean, I guess, yeah. We'll see what gets. It might get bumped depending on what gets thrown up there. We'll see. I was just trying to look up the guy who does the play-by-play for all the hockey in the first two with Bob Miller. Yeah, he was a real hockey announcer, which is why I think it's just it feels it has a little more weight to it. Yeah, Bob Miller. He was a real for the Kings for like 30 years. So that's why those hockey sequences feel heavier because I think you have a real guy, doing the announcer, shoots, he scores, and that kid in the third one is fucking terrible. Like he's horrible. Like oh man, the Ducks are really cleaning up the trash around the net. Like he's horrible. Like he's bad. Like he kills like a lot of those scenes. But yeah, like it's. Yeah, that's all. It's just my only big gripe with that movie. Like,
do you know why Emilio Estevez wasn't in it very much?
He was doing other stuff, right? Like he was.
Yeah, it's been like despite top billing, Emilio Estevez only appears in Gordon Bombay at the beginning, during the middle scene, and towards the end. Although he has less than 20 minutes of screen time, he was busy filming The War at Home, and he wasn't able to devote much time to this film. Hence, the much smaller role in the past two films.
Yeah,
he agreed to a smaller role in the film for free. Oh, it's this movie he directed. Actually, really good. It's with him, Martin Sheen, and Kathy Bates. It's a Thanksgiving movie.
Okay, so he's directing a movie with his dad. There you go.
On the War at Home, but yeah.
I think it does give it like a legitimacy when you get like a real sports guy. Like even though obviously he wasn't playing himself, but like the Major League when Bob Uecker was doing the Major League.
Well, yeah, what is it? And in the Rocky movies, when Stu Nahan was a real sports announcer, and when Stu Nahan is like calling the Rocky fights, you know what I'm saying? It gives an extra weight, even stuff like Happy Gilmore with Vern Lundquist. Like Vern Lundquist is a real football and golf play-by-play announcer, doing the commentary in that movie. So like, I think it just gives it a little more weight rather than getting some goofy kid doing that shit in that third movie. Like
Creed, why can Creed how they have Max Kellerman.
Max Kellerman and those guys. Yeah, like real people doing it gives it a little more weight, like to me. So I like that stuff. Yeah.
Even on the MMA movie, Here Comes a Boom, they have Joe Rogan doing the commentary.
They have Rogan and Goldberg doing the commentary. Yeah, they have the real UFC announcers doing it, which it helps. You know what I mean? It definitely helps.
Yeah. Or at the very least, get like a seasoned actor to do it, or like someone who's had some experience.
A seasoned voice actor or somebody that can give it something. Yeah.
Like for Rookie of the Year, they get the guy who's like Duncan's toy chest guy from Home Alone 2. I forget that.
No, in Rookie of the Year, it's John Candy doing the John Candy.
John Candy, the other guy, and everything else. I forget the other guy's name, but I've seen him in.
The other guy, he plays the owner. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, John Candy's doing the voice, but again, you get a good actor. He's like uncredited in Rookie of the Year, but he's fun. He adds something to the play-by-play. Yeah, I mean, you get a good actor to do that. Like, I just feel like it's miscasting, but whatever. All quibbles aside, that's D3. So but at least we knocked out a couple of movies, so we can move on. To other stuff.
We'll throw it back to Ross. So if you got another one you want to talk about.
I got one that like most people hate, but I actually like it, and that's The Love Guru. I put it in Steve.
Oh, okay.
I laughed the first time I saw it. I was expecting it to it's in the bottom row.
The bottom. Oh yeah, because it's the Love Guru.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate that movie. Okay, it's not. I was expecting it to be like the worst movie ever when I first saw it, and then I actually laughed a lot. More than I thought I would. It's stupid humor, but somehow it's the type of stupid humor that makes you laugh.
Bless you.
Yeah, because his greeting is like Mariska Hargitay, and then he goes like Mariska Hargitay, and then like Mariska Hargitay, and then he goes Mariska Hargitay. So it's like the stupid humor that I love.
You're not selling. You're not making your case for.
You're not.
It is dumb. But like the working 9 to 5 musical number is funny, because it's a spoof of all the Bollywood stuff, and then I walked in expecting it to be like the worst thing ever, and then I went, oh, that was actually pretty funny. It wasn't Austin Powers, but it was still good. So so I'd put it in the C category,
All right, well, we'll see if you have it a little high or not. But Richie, what do you think?
To The Love Guru, have fun being in C category for a couple of seconds because you're about to be downgraded to a fucking F. This movie sucks. I hate this movie. You know who hates this movie more than anybody? Mike Myers. It killed his career for ages.
He killed his career.
Yeah, I even forgot this was a winter sport movie. I was like, oh,
Yeah, because Romany
Yeah.
Malco, the one black guy, is the hockey player for yeah, he's and Vern Troyer is like the owner of the hockey team. So yeah, it counted because there's actually like hockey stuff in it. It's kind of centered around that.
Justin
But yeah, you
Timberlake
forget
plays one
that.
of the hockey guys, the Jacques Grande or
yeah,
whatever.
so I forgot. Yeah,
Mhm.
this it's just I felt bad for everyone involved. I was like, what are you doing, my mom? Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just not. I think it was the first time I saw Justin Timberlake on. I mean, he'd done a couple of things, but before that, but like first, like he had just started to sort of transition from music to acting, and I'm like, man, even Justin Timberlake, what are you doing? What are you? This is just it was so bad for everyone. Yeah, look, if each to their own. People get enjoyment out of it. That's cool. I just I was like, yeah, I felt like I was witnessing the death of a career, and which I kind of wanted to. Like he's slowly coming back, but not. Yeah, it's still.
I feel like this is the reason he hasn't made Austin Powers 4. Like oddly in a weird way, like they haven't let him do that because of this movie. Like, and Austin Powers is a beloved franchise, but it's like he was so marred by that. Like he's afraid to make a bad movie again. Like it's weird. Yeah, he's just popped up in little appearances here and there. Like he hasn't really done anything.
He was really scarred by it. Like I think that he like quit acting for a long time. But obviously, like he's like back in some like minor roles and stuff.
Was it before or after Inglourious Bastards?
Well, Inglourious Basterds was after, but he was uncredited in that movie. He was kind of like just a surprise sort of cameo thing, and that was.
I didn't remember him even being Inglourious Bastards at all.
Yeah, he has the one scene where he's like he's like pointing at them. He said he always wanted to do a role where he pointed to a map and said, "The British are here, the enemy is here."
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah. He's in that one scene, like because he had always wanted to play a character in that because his dad loved old war movies where stuff like that happens. So, yeah. Anyways. Chris?
I agree. This movie is a fucking piece of shit. Like, literally, there's nothing redeeming about it, and I agree. After this movie, we didn't see him in anything else because he sucked that horribly. Okay, just worst movie ever made. Absolute F tier, and if we could add another tier, like.
Yeah,
we can add like an F, G, or Z. We could take it down to Z and put it there, okay?
Yeah, right.
And then smash it in the Star Wars trash compactor.
Yeah. Well, Austin.
I have a quick story about the night I saw The Love Guru, like opening weekend. I was my buddy and I we had went out to like eat somewhere, and we were gonna go to a movie, and like I got for whatever is like hammered drunk. So like I went and saw this movie just obliterated and just like super drunk. So I giggled a lot during that one just because I was hammered, and so a lot of stuff just like hit me on that one. But when I sobered up and like saw it on DVD like a year later, I was just like, oh my god, like what was I laughing? Like this is horrible. like if you're not drunk, like this is terrible. And I think again, he's trying way too hard. The side characters aren't funny. The story's not interesting. When MVP is a smarter script than The Love Guru, then you're really in trouble. So F tier. And has a little more sentimentality in this movie. Yeah, you're in trouble. So this movie it kind of sucks. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, there's a case to be made. This might be the worst theatrically released movie ever made. Like, there's a case to be made because, like, this is the fastest that I've ever walked out of a movie. I went to see it in theaters, and literally 10 minutes in, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going to watch any more of this. So I've not seen it all the way through, but just based on that I'm still going to rank it. I'm still going to give it like an F minus. Like, it's just so bad. There's just nothing redeeming about it. Like, I wasn't laughing. I'm like, what in the hell is this? Like, I went in thinking that it might be like the next like Austin Powers kind of character, like kind of similar. Like, is it going to spawn a new franchise? I was actually really excited going to see it, and like for my anticipation level to what I got was like the biggest gap. Like I'd rather watch movie 43. I'd rather watch like so many other movies. I'd rather watch a friggin' Kristen Stewart movie, and I hate Kristen Stewart. So yeah, like.
You mean Oscar nominated Kristen Stewart?
Yeah, right. Yeah, like Oscar nominated Kristen Stewart. Yeah. So yeah, this movie was just oh man, it is awful. I could not do it.
I think too though not like I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, So it's
Well,
like
Ross, I'm glad you get some enjoyment out of it. I'm glad you get some enjoyment. Like I truly am. Like I'm happy that you get enjoyment out of it. Like I just think you're in the minority, but like I'm happy you get enjoyment. Like hey man, if you can watch it and enjoy it for what it is, cool. But unfortunately, you're gonna get way outvoted on this one. So it's gonna get flushed.
Yeah, it's going straight.
It's gonna get flushed. Yeah,
I believe if like Malcolm was on the
straight into the dumpster,
he might back you up there. If
Malcolm probably loves this movie.
Malcolm,
he probably loves this movie.
Yeah, Malcolm. Yeah,
but I
he has
hate
all the hot
movie
takes.
43, so I hate movie 43.
Yeah. Same here, but I love.
I don't. And I
love it even worse.
Different strokes, different folks. I don't mind I don't mind aspects of that movie.
I would rather watch movie 43 than The Love Guru. Like any day of the fucking week. Way more.
Movie 43 actually made it about 30 minutes through. This one I only made it 10 minutes through, so it's kind of that's like it's close, but yeah. So we'll throw it over to Richie now. So if you,
it feels so weird to transit. It feels so weird to transition. Right. It feels so weird to transition from a movie that just swept the Razzies to a movie that got a lot of Oscar noms. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go with I, Tonya, which should
be there we go.
This movie's great. One of the more insane stories about until it breaks Nancy Kerrigan, Tony Harding situation. Just like the characters. But Alison Janney has one of the best performances of her career. She's just so evil and just so she becomes that character. Like it's just she's so haunting. And Sebastian Stan's really good in it. Great sort of comedic role and breakout performance from Paul Walter Hauser.
He's awesome in that movie. He's so fucking good in that movie.
He's so funny. And then he's so fun. And and now I make a point to watch whatever he if I know he's got something coming up, I'll make a point to watch it even if it's bad because I really enjoy him. But this movie's fantastic. And something like obviously not most easy watch. Not like if you know the story, doesn't really have a happy ending or anything like that. But it's a story that it was a story I was waiting to be told. It was definitely a cinematic type story. So glad it was finally done. And it was finally done so well. I, Tonya, S tier for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds good. Well, Chris, what do you think?
I didn't understand why they needed a movie based on this because we all know she's a psycho. So I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time watching this thing. I was like why?
On screen.
Why? It's like watching Truman Capote in Blood, in True Blood. Okay? No, I don't need to watch this movie. I don't know why it was made. I probably wouldn't give it an F, but I'm just like, I'd be comfortable with B, but definitely not S tier. This is not an S tier movie.
Have you seen it though?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Well, your vote doesn't
really
count if you haven't seen it. Sorry.
You haven't seen it though. You can't just.
Yeah.
Oh, this shouldn't be made into a movie, so I'd give it an F. Like what? Like that's like there's a lot of movies that shouldn't be movies, but they're good.
True. Okay. All right. You're right.
But I'm Austin though. What do you think?
No, I Tanya was one of my biggest surprises of 2017 when I went into it. I was familiar with the story, and around the same time there was like a 30 for 30 that came out with like interviews with like the real Tonya Harding, and it's funny they do like a smash cut in that thing where she's going like at the beginning she's like, I didn't really know what was going to happen, they didn't tell me anything, and at the end she's like, okay, I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I knew what was going on. like they smash cut to that, and it's like she completely just admits like she knew what was going on, and it's hilarious. But as far as the movie goes, I mean, I think Margot Robbie's great. Paul Walter Hauser just absolutely steals the movie. He's so good as Sean, like his dumb buddy who claims he's in like the CIA or he's in like special ops, like but I just love the way he talks. He just always sounds like he's got food in his mouth. Like he's just like, but I'm in the CIA and I'm gonna set up this trap. Like he always just sounds like he's catching his breath. And he's just always hungry. He's always eating in every scene. Like it's such a trope, but it's funny. He makes it work. And Sebastian Stan, like their relationship where they're just slapping each other around and just beating the shit out of each other. Like it's a weird movie, but like it's kind of a dark comedy at the same time. I think Atan is fantastic. It's one of the best surprises of that year. And I love this movie a lot. So it's S tier for me.
Yeah, this movie's great. Like Well, it was a really big surprise. I went to go see it, kind of having mid expectation. I didn't think it was going to be bad or really great. I just kind of looking for something to see at the movie theater on like a random Saturday, and yeah, like I was just blown away by how awesome this freaking movie was. Like, Margot Robbie, she just nails it. Allison Janney, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is Paul Walter Hauser the guy that actually inflicts the like injury, or is it Sebastian Stan that does? I can't
He's the one that does
Stan.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Sebastian Stan does it, and Paul Walter Hauser, like, he's like, oh, I'll plan it all out, and then he's just completely inept. Like, they don't even get like a separate car. Like, they just like
Yeah.
they do it right in front of the cameras. Like, he's just completely like a buffoon. Like, he's a total buffoon, and then he doesn't even know how to like cover it up. Like, he cracks immediately under pressure when he's interrogated. Like, he's just a buffoon, like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But then you see at the end of the movie, they show the real footage of that guy that Paul Walter Hauser's playing, and he nails it. Like, he's exactly the same, like, cadence and stuff. Like, he's exactly the same. He fucking nails it. Like, that dude was that dumb and that stupid. Like, he nails it.
Yeah. And yeah, so for me, it kind of introduced me to a couple different actors and actresses in this movie, like Paul Walter Hauser. So when I saw this, like, I was excited to go see stuff like Richard Jewell and like some of the other movies that he's been in, and then also yeah, and also McKenna Grace too. Like she played the young Tanya Harding, and then she went on to do stuff like Gifted and the new Ghostbusters movie, stuff like that. So like she was fun in it, and yeah, just like a super solid cast, just like a really cool, like the way that they did the storyline, and the director, I forget his name, Craig something, I always forget.
Craig Gillespie or something like that.
Yeah. So like he did a lot of solid movies that were big surprises for me. Ones that I kind of had low expectations going in, like he did the remake of Fright Night, which I was really surprised about, and then he also did $1 Million Arm. He does like Lars and the Real Girl, and then the new the live action Cruella movie. Like he did all of those movies, and those are all ones that were big surprises for me. So yeah, like,
that makes sense why that would make sense why Paul Walter Hauser's in Cruella then.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna say S tier, and actually, I Tanya might be almost at the top of S tier.
I think it's at the top of the S tier for me. Like, out of the stuff that's up there right now, for me personally. Like, I think that is. I think it's one of the best movies on the list, like, pretty easily. Yeah,
so don't knock it till you see it, Chris. I'll bet you'd be surprised. So
I'm gonna check it out now after you guys gave it a roving reviews.
Yeah. But speaking of Chris, it's your turn.
Wait, you didn't ask me though, too. You didn't ask me.
Oh yeah, Ross.
Oh, sorry, Ross.
Ross.
Yeah.
This movie is the top of that.
My bad.
Paul Walter Hauser steals the movie, like when he actually. I was like drinking, like water, and then when like he actually says, "I'm always 2 steps ahead of people," and he has 3 fingers up. Like this movie is
such a moron. Yeah, I want to go watch. I want to go rewatch this movie like right now. Fuck me. I want to watch this shit right now.
You own it? Is that good?
Oh, I own it. Yeah, it's
really good.
It's fantastic. I own it.
Yeah.
And then like her mom is actually now like up there for the worst moms ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have the advice that she gave her that one. You remember that one, right?
Mm.
If they aren't beating on you, then they don't love you.
Oh yeah.
She's a horrible person.
It's so good though. You're like, this movie I'd put at the top of S. I was expecting to like it. I didn't expect to love it. And actually, like, I think this is Sebastian Stan's second best performance he's ever given.
Yeah, he's really good. Jeff Goldblum. What a terrible name.
Yeah, but the story of I, Tanya is pretty interesting. How she kind of came up from like a really poor lifestyle and like kind of lived in trailer parks and all that kind of stuff.
She was like making her own outfits and shit. Like, they're like judging her because she like makes her own outfits, and like the one on the poster right there, she like makes herself, and she's not as glamorous as everybody. She does like the figure skating things to like Def Leppard, as opposed to like classical music and stuff, and it's just kind of like that. But it's fun. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, it's going to stay in the S tier. So, Chris, you got one you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Cutting Edge. I think it's called.
All right. Yeah.
It's right
Where's
below
it at?
Slapshot 3. It's right below Slapshot 3.
Oh yeah, because it's the cutting edge.
Yeah, yep. So I remember seeing this movie a long time ago and loved it. I think it's a awesome movie. You kind of got the rom-com, you got the elements of the skating. It's just an all-around. I feel like it's a powerful story. I would definitely say it's absolutely an S tier movie. Mind you, I've not seen it in a while, but I remember loving it at the time when I saw it and being blown away.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Austin, what do you think? Have you seen it?
I didn't get a chance to get to it in time. I wanted to because I've heard good things about it, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So I apologize, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and this is one that I haven't seen either. Like, it's one that I definitely want to see, but I didn't really have enough time to squeeze it in. So yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment. But Ross, have you seen it?
No, but it's always been on my list because like I'm a big fan of the actress. Like I don't know whatever happened to her. She was always good and stuff. But like I remember though, like this is free on YouTube, and then they have the sequel starring Christy Carlson Romano. But I still do want to see it. Yeah, like the girl was like the girl was good in like like with honors, and she's really good in that.
Oh yeah. And I can't remember if it made the like rom-com list. I'll have to look, but I don't think so because maybe it didn't have enough comedy in it. I can't remember, but I'll have to double check though. So, but Richie, what do you think? Have you seen the Cutting Edge?
It's going and I haven't seen because I haven't seen this either. I've heard of it, but
oh man,
it is free on YouTube.
Sorry,
though.
Chris.
I'm sorry, Chris. but I was interested. I just didn't get around to see it. I'm sorry, Chris.
No,
but we'll give you another
right.
pick. We'll give you another pick if it goes down there. So we'll give you another pick. Is there another one you want to talk about?
The Goon.
Goon,
The second one.
Yeah,
right.
Let's see where's that.
The Goon is such a damn good movie. It's awesome.
Awesome.
It's I've always loved hockey, and especially watching those fighters. This last year I got to get a John Shockey's autograph, who played for the Idaho Steelheads, and I used to love going to watch him play because he was a fighter. He was the one that would get out there and kick ass and take names, and so it kind of related to that and just like how real it was. It kind of was funny. But it was heartfelt. At the same time, he was trying to figure out where he belonged as being this fighter. And the battle between him and Liv Schreiber's character is flipping fantastic. Absolutely S tier movie. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Austin, what do you think?
Yeah. Goon was one of those surprises that I remember getting a lot of word of mouth when it came out. Like it wasn't like a big, huge theatrical release, but I remember once it went to like digital and kind of on video, like people talked about it a lot. I remember hearing a lot about it on Douglas Movies. Actually, he was a big champion of this movie, encouraging people to see it. And yeah, it's really good. Like Sean William Scott's great. Like he's not playing like Stifler in this movie or anything like that. It's a really like more subdued performance. Just playing this this guy who just he's a goon. I mean, he it's a lost art of the enforcers of the hockey team who just kind of beat the shit out of people and check the crap out of people. They're not there to score goals. They're just there to do their thing. And yeah, the interesting dynamic of him and Liev Schreiber is like they're on opposite teams, but he's not like a villain. Like they respect each other. They're just playing against each other. They're not. They have a respect of like they're both kind of the last of their kind. Just kind of keeping this art of the goon hockey player alive. It's like a D2 when Portman is the goon. He's just the enforcer. He's just there to just intimidate people. And just do his thing. So yeah. I mean, that's what Portman is in that movie. And but yeah, like I think it's really well directed. The hockey scenes are good. I mean, it's kind of low budget, but I think it's a really underrated, solid movie. And I think for the purposes of this list, I would put it in like a low S tier. Like I don't know if they'd be like super high, but I put it in like a low S. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, so trying to look up who directed it. I know J.A. Baruchel directed the sequel. I don't know if he did the first one though.
No, I'll look. I got it pulled up right here. So it's Michael Dowse. Let me see what else he did. And Scoot. So
yeah,
he did most recently 8-Bit Christmas, which is a Neil Patrick Harris movie. I think.
Oh, yeah.
He did that movie.
movie's pretty
He
good.
did that movie Stuber with Batista and
the
Kumail
movie's really
Nanjiani.
good too.
He does a lot of TV. He did that movie What If with Daniel Radcliffe.
That movie wasn't bad.
Okay.
And he did Take Me Home Tonight with Dan Fogler and Topher Grace and things like that. So.
Underrated comedy. I love that movie.
So he makes some,
yeah.
he makes some okay stuff. Yeah. So varies in quality, but some all right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love Goon. I watched Goon. I saw Goon when it came out, but for some reason I couldn't remember a lot about it. So I went back and I gave it a rewatch, and holy crap! Like the first one for sure. Like it as a definite S tier for me. Like I just love Sean William Scott's character. Jay Baruchel's character is awesome with the Boston accent. And he's like, "You're fucking awesome. You're wicked awesome. Yeah, go and kick some ass." And he's just in the crowd, like just like screaming at a hat that says "fuck white people" or something on it. Just like it just cracks me up. Yeah. So yeah, and then you see like Eugene Levy pop up as his dad, and so yeah, and then even Alison Pill in the first movie. For some reason I didn't like her performance as much in the second movie, but in the first one she's like really, really good. Kind of plays just like this like drunk girl who's kind of sleeping around, but then she kind of like has a rough exterior with the heart of gold, and then Sean William Scott's able to kind of corral her in, and they kind of have a little like romance as he's just beating the living crap out of people. And I like how they just show him just beating the hell out of people, and like that's what the first movie is. It's just like him just beating the living crap out of people, and they do it in a way that just really works. And like yeah, like I have a lot of fun with this. So yeah, for this list, like I'd say S tier for sure. Yeah. So, but Ross, what do you think?
Oh, this is an S tier movie. I remember I bought it on a whim and I loved it. And then like some parts, like actually like had me like bursting out laughing. Like the scene is where the two guys are like are like having sex with the helmet, and it goes, "Oh my god, it's your wife." And the guy goes, "You're on my same team." And then like I love it how the coffee shop scene was actually like reminiscent of the scene in Heat. Like which is like this movie's amazing. I never saw the sequel. But the first one, though, like this is now like one of my most now like underrated movies. Like when the guy like calls his brother the F word, and he's like, "That's not very nice," which actually like gets him on the thing. And then like I wish though that the Sean William Scott Popeye movie had got made.
Oh, I think it's slated for a Popeye movie, huh?
Never heard of
that. Interesting.
Was he going to be Popeye?
Yes, he was. He was going to voice him.
Okay.
Oh, like an animated thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. But
Richie, Goon, what do you think? Have you seen it?
Yeah. I'll say that. It's very good. I was going to bring this up. If no one else did. I don't know if it ever came to the movies here, but I heard like good word of mouth. So I think like when video shop's still a thing, I rented it, and yeah, it's really really good. Great writing, but Jay Baruchel, I like how Jay Baruchel plays against type. He's usually the sort of nerdy and kind of like awkward kind of, Michael Cera types in sort of movies, and this one he plays a brash, obnoxious kind of, stereotypical like Boston dude. Alison Pill's really good in this movie, and I think it's a movie. It's really funny, but it's also got a lot of heart to it as well. So there's definitely S tier. It surprised me, and I wish sort of Sean William Scott could. I think people sort of categorize Sean William Scott in a certain way. Like he's not like the most brilliant actor in the world, but I feel like he should get more credit than he gets sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like to see even more like dramatic performances or something a little more serious kind of stuff.
Too.
Like
me too.
He can still be comedic, but like not do the American Pie thing. Like I want to see more of that.
I remember though, like Jordan actually now like posted that, and like he was watching the second one, and then Malcolm typed second one. The first one was bad enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you're not on this panel, Malcolm. It's all right.
Yeah. I actually didn't hate the second one. The second one's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the second one, do you want to just go ahead and rank it really quick, just while we're talking?
I haven't seen it.
May as well.
I did.
I've seen it, and I've got some thoughts on it too. So, but
okay. I mean, all you guys that have seen it can rank it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, but
personally.
Would you say you haven't seen it, Ross, or did you see it?
No, I have not yet. I want to though.
Okay.
But
That's
I
check.
heard
I imagine
that,
like the first one.
that it was like one of the sequels that was a big step down from the original. And it never
Yeah.
really came to theaters. So I thought that maybe if it came to theaters, I would have seen it.
Yeah, it went straight to Netflix, is what it was. Yeah, but Richie, have you seen it? The sequel?
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was, but yeah, it's not like it doesn't hold a candle to the first one. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, it's not as entertaining or anything like that. But I don't know. I don't think it's an S tier or anything like that. I put it solid B.
Yeah. Well, Chris, what do you think for the sequel?
So, I mean, Goon was awesome, and I did enjoy getting to find out what happened afterwards, kind of how he kind of dealt with, the idea of being the last enforcer and kind of what happens after that. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good story. I definitely didn't have the impact as the first one necessarily, but I wouldn't move it beneath the A. I would have to put it in A for sure.
Yeah, and I actually really like the sequel. I mean, I don't like it as much as the first one, but and it's missing a couple of key characters like Eugene Levy in it, but I mean, and I also think Alison Pill's character is not as fun as the first one, but the stuff that I really like though the hockey scenes, like the hockey stuff is like shot really, really well. There's some really good commentary, like it's just like really engaging, really like just like you have fun watching him play hockey, but the thing that I don't like is that they're like trying to get him to like step away from doing so many fights, because obviously when he's getting the like shit kicked out of him, it's like he's gonna like eventually have some medical issues and some things where like they're like afraid for his life, and so he has to kind of tone it down a little bit, which is understandable, but it's kind of not as fun and like not seem to quite as much. He still does like fight, but
he does
not on the same level as the first one. So and also Liv Schreiber's character's back, and like he does a little bit of fighting, but also he kind of is trying to tone it down a little bit too. So because they're like on the edge of death almost. So, but
is Kim Coates in the second one?
I can't remember. I would imagine she probably is, but
no, him.
But yeah,
No, him. That's the Sons of Anarchy guy, Kim Coates.
Oh yeah.
He was the coach. Like he's the guy that kind of looks like he can play.
Yeah, with the long hair and the goatee.
Remake.
Yeah. So he plays one of the enforcer guys. He's like the new guy that comes in to be like one of the new enforcer. Yeah.
Oh, he's a coach. He was a coach in the first one.
No, the coach.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah. I was thinking of Wyatt Russell. Like he seems like a Sons of Anarchy guy. I've never seen Sons of Anarchy, but yeah, okay. Like he's the new enforcer guy. But yeah, but yeah. For the sequel, I'd say A tier. I wouldn't go S, but I'd say A. So
okay, so 2 A's and a B. Yeah, so
yeah,
A
tier. I'll make it into A tier. Yeah. So yeah, we'll leave it there. But we'll throw it to Austin. So
did we lose Chris and Richie? Are they still with us?
Probably for a second, but I imagine they like.
Okay.
I am in.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so speaking of goons and enforcers, I think it's time to talk about Slapshot, the original 77 Slapshot. I'm going to shoot for A tier on this one because I this is one I enjoy, but I don't think. I have some issues with it, but overall I still like it. The movie's too damn long. It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's too effing long for what it's trying to do, and that could be a symptom of the 70s because stuff was just kind of longer back then. They didn't really do a lot of editing and cutting. They just kind of threw everything in there, everything is shot. But I will say, the stuff that's great, obviously the stuff with the Hanson brothers, and when they start playing dirty hockey, just beating the crap out of the other teams and just not caring about winning, just pummeling everybody in sight, is a lot of fun, and it's actually really well shot and really brutal. Like you're surprised how brutal this is. Like this movie's very bloody. Like when it starts to get going like that, where they're having the brawls before the games, and they're doing the national anthem while their glasses are broken. There's blood coming out of their ears, all kinds of stuff. Like, and Paul Newman's fun as the player coach, kind of the older guy, and I still think it's well directed and it's well acted and all that. It's the same guy who did The Sting and Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, same director, so it's well done. But yeah, I just have minor quibbles that kind of keep it out of the S tier. But it's a very influential movie, and I think it deserves to be mentioned at least in kind of a range honorable mention kind of stuff, because you wouldn't have movies like Goon or even the stuff with the Bash Brothers and the Mighty Ducks that without stuff like the Hanson Brothers and the Slapshot. It's very very influential like that. So I think it deserves an A tier, and but I'll see where everybody else rolls on that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think Slapshot was a fun movie to watch. It like I do think that like kind of what you said, like it was a little long, and I thought that like honestly the editing was a little bad in this movie. Like the editing that it just had all these kind of long drawn out scenes that just could have been a little.
Well, it needs to be trimmed. It needs like 20 minutes trimmed out of it. Like if they trimmed some of the business stuff out of the movie just a little bit, like and cut it down to like an hour and 40 minutes, it'd be a much tighter movie, and it'd be much better. It's just back in the 70s they just didn't. They kind of threw everything up on screen. It's just like, oh, the movie's just going to be 2 hours. It is what it is. Like just throw it up there and just roll with it. And the guy and the director had a lot of clout after The Sting, because this is and Butch Cassidy. So I mean, he's he was a high end director, so he probably had final cut.
But Paul Newman, man, like anytime he's on screen, like he's just so cool. Like he just oozes kind of like the old school coolness like that he has. So yeah, and my favorite stuff was for sure all the hockey stuff, like some of the like off screen stuff. It was fun at times, but for me that's kind of the stuff that just kind of dragged a little bit. But yeah, seeing the Hanson brothers as the enforcers too, that was a good time. But it did feel a little slow to me, but I still had a good time in it. I kind of had to put myself in the era, like what would I think if I was seeing this actually in the 70s, and I think I'd have a lot of fun with it. So I'll give it an A. Yeah.
Never seen it.
Never seen it,
Ross? All right.
Nope. I do want to though, and then it has one of my favorite character actors of all time, and it looks like Emmett Walsh, who's still alive today.
Yeah. Emmett Walsh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good in it, but
and Charlize Martin is in it from Cool Hand Luke and the other Paul Newman movie. Charlize Martin's like the owner of the team. He's fun.
Oh yeah. But Richie,
I have seen that. It's brought it up in the 70s comedy tier. Like, it's I really enjoy this movie. It is a bit on the long side, but yeah, it's product of its time. But yeah, I just maybe some of the thing we actually talked about last time. Some of the jokes might not hold out, especially in these days. It's a bit more risque. Like, she looks pussy. She looks. She's a dyke. Lesbian. Okay.
Lesbian.
It's true.
But it's a fun movie. I can see what people think it's slow in parts, but I would honestly put it in S. But just given what we've got here, but A is perfectly fine for it as well. So
yeah. Well, Chris, have you seen Slapshot?
I have not seen Slapshot, but and here I go saying I'm going to watch it, and I really am because I love Paul Newman, and I especially love that director too. I mean, because he did The Sting, which is one of my favorite movies ever made.
Yeah. Well, and Paul Newman actually said this is his favorite movie he's ever worked on, like one of his favorite characters to play. So, he had a good time doing it. So yeah, with this character.
Well,
which is cool.
Well, we have 2 A's and an S, so it'll probably end up in a high A. Probably.
Yeah, it's got higher scores than Goon 2 though, so it'll probably scoot up to the top of A for now at least. Yeah.
We can put it
so it's got a good chance to make an honorable mention. All right, so Slapshot. All right, Jordan.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I am gonna go for it. Let me see.
Come on, we got to put it up there at some point.
I can't believe we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, I know.
You mean Cool Runnings? Is that what you want to?
Yeah.
Go for?
Yeah.
Hopefully not talking about it yet. It's an hour and a half. It's about time.
Well, I got.
It's amazing.
I did get the Irving Blitzer pop figure here for this episode. So that's pretty
what?
Cool. Yeah,
that's
which is
so
awesome.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah. So Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. We have a One Duddies, Sanka. Yeah.
I'm surprised that they haven't made a Hook Funko Pops yet. They should.
Yeah. They have Irving Blitzer, but I don't think they have any of the other guys, so they need to. Yeah.
They should have a little mini bobsled with the 4 other guys in there, just with their heads sticking out. You could have a little bobblehead, with sticking out of the bobsled. That'd be fun. Why not?
especially with the Winter Olympics too. They could have coordinated it there because
Yeah, why not?
They even mentioned him too this year.
Yeah, the Jamaican bobsled team actually made the Olympics this year for the first time in I think 15, 20
And
years.
they mentioned Cool Runnings.
Oh yeah, nice.
Well, of course, you have to.
Yeah. yeah. You pretty much have to. But yeah, Cool Runnings is awesome. Like it's like such a rewatchable movie. Like all the scenes when they first go to meet John Candy, and they're like afraid of him. He's this guy that just kind of loses at like a pool game, and he's freaking like hitting like pool stick and breaking stuff all over the place. And then just seeing the fish out of water, how they're not used to the cold environment. So when they tell Senka for the first time, like ice, you mean like igloos and Eskimos and penguins and ice? And so yeah, like, and then like how they like all the heart with like Doris kind of looking at the Swiss team and kind of modeling a lot of things that after them, but then he finds out they're just a bunch of a-holes. So like he just kind of like learns to just like do his own thing and like make it his own. And like there's just so many like quotable lines like I see pride, I see power, I see a badass murderer who don't take no crap off of nobody once again. yeah. So like this is a definite S tier.
S tier, right? It's up there.
I feel bad for the Jamaican track team that they send to the Olympics that year. They're sending their like fourth and fifth best runners because like the ones that were in the lead like all get tripped up, Doris and like the other two, they ended up making the team. Right. They're like the fastest ones and then they don't make it. So the other guys qualify. So like they're sending their like not quality runners, like they're good runners, but like not the fastest guys to the Olympics. Like they're gonna lose the track because of that. Like it was just something I think about in that scene. It's like, oh, you're sending the guys who were like in fifth place to the Olympics on the running team.
Yeah,
that
right.
Sucks.
And like Disney had a long streak of like during the 90s, like just making all these like true story inspirational sports movies. So like 90s, maybe early 2000s too. So yeah, this is definitely one of them that's up there. So with the best of the best. So yeah, but Ross, what do you think?
Oh, this is an ass movie. I watched it for the first time last year. And then, like, I remember it still, like, I love all the quotable lines. Like, and I think my favorite line is when Yul Brynner says, "How about I beat your butt right now?" And then Sanka Coffee says, "How about I draw a line down the middle of your head so it
looks like a butt."
It looks like a butt. Like, this movie is amazing. And it's actually, like, I think one of John Candy's, like, best performances. Like, and this is one of his last movies. So, like, but still, I still do love this movie. Like, and then, like, I thought that I wouldn't like it, because it was my first time seeing it as an adult. But no, it still holds up. It's still really funny. And then, like, Dougie Doug is just so positive and happy that like, whenever I think about his character, I just smile, because, like, he makes the day better.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool.
Yeah, so S tier, yeah.
Yeah, right. Definitely S tier. Probably. I mean, I know I can do it later, but it probably should be up there like as leader, probably maybe just in front of I, Tonya, in my opinion. But I don't know what else to say. It's just iconic sports movie, one of the best sports movies ever made. One of the inspirational movie. So S tier all the way.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right, Chris. Cool running.
Absolutely yes tier. I mean, everyone's kind of said everything I can say about this movie, but I have so many fond memories, and it's absolutely rewatchable. Yeah, definitely S tier. It should definitely belongs near the top. Of course, my top is Iron Will, but it should be near the top there.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think one aspect of the movie that people don't talk about enough is it's a Hans Zimmer score as well, which a lot of people forget. And the score is actually really good. Yeah, like that stuff at the end, dun, 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 dun. Like all the stuff that makes me kind of tear up at the end. When they're walking across the finish line, like that shit's good. And a lot of that is due to Hans Zimmer. Like a lot of people don't realize that, but it's great stuff. It's surprisingly well directed for how kind of silly it kind of comes off at the beginning, but it all kind of comes together. But yeah, they obviously fudge a little bit of the details here and there. They didn't literally walk the thing across the finish line at the end. That's a movie thing, but for entertainment value. But regardless, it's still a cool story. It's still interesting stuff, and it's funny. But
and then they didn't even really know like freeze their asses off either.
Well,
It was
I mean,
actually
yeah.
75 degrees. It was 75 degrees when they did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean you got to make a movie, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's got good stuff. Yeah, John Candy's great in it. He kind of is the glue that kind of holds the movie together. But yeah, it's good stuff. It definitely should be in the upper half of the S tier. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hey Senka, what you smoking? I'm not smoking. I'm freezing. And it's like
I'm
like,
breathing.
yeah, I'm breathing. Yeah, I'm breathing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's good stuff. Then Ross, right when I jumped out, you had like the best quote. But I draw a line down the middle of your head so it looks like a butt. That's like one of my favorite lines. Yeah.
I just like when they're showing the old footage of just all the wipeouts of the bobsleds, and it starts out with the full house, and they turn the lights back on. Everybody left. Like he's just talking to nobody. Ouch, that hurts. Oh boy, oh man, that smarts. Just.
Well, that quote there's a quote that they say that I use all the time in like everyday life, where it's like gentlemen, a bobsled is a simple thing. Yeah, so is a toilet. So, like I'll say that line all the time. Yeah.
The director that actually director like went on to do some like pretty big movies too.
Yeah.
I didn't look up who did it.
It was John Turtletop.
Oh, John Turtletop. He did National Treasure, and I wanted to.
Yeah, and then he also did like Phenomenon.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the last thing he did that was of note was the Meg.
The Meg.
Oh, yeah, you did do it, Meg.
Oh, the Meg was amazing. I love that movie.
Yeah.
They're making a sequel.
I love that freaking movie. Yeah.
Sequel's coming.
Sequel,
They're filming it now, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
No,
Jason Statham fighting. Is he going to fight a bigger shark? Is it going to be like the Meg versus Octopus or Crocodile?
That book series is incredible.
I don't know, but they did make and then like being completely serious, they actually have made a Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Well, I know they made like 5 of those movies. It's dog shit now. Run these names into the ground. Yeah.
The Meg was initially meant to be directed by Eli Roth. That would be a different movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. And he went on and did what, the Green Inferno instead, or just went back to horror.
Which is one of the biggest shit ever made.
Well, no, he did the house with the clock in the walls. Like he did that shit around that time too.
Was that good or no?
I like that movie. I think it's underrated. It's
The Green Inferno to me, like I think it's borderline torture porn. That movie was hard to watch. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
all right. We'll go around. I think we'll go around quickly one last time with everybody because we're at the hour 37. So we'll give everybody one last regular pick, and then we'll hit the Hail Marys after that. So Ross.
Okay. Johnny Tsunami. Johnny Tsunami. Is
Johnny Tsunami.
It's okay. As a movie, it's a C, but for nostalgia, it's an A. I'm like. Terry Hogwai, I forget his name, but he's always good. But like this movie, I remember this movie was okay, and then this is where I actually started quoting though, "Go big or go home." So this movie is actually I remember I didn't like the sequels, but this one was actually pretty decent. I think it's for a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, Richie, what do you think for Johnny Tsunami?
I've heard a lot about Johnny Tsunami. I haven't got around to watching it, but yeah, I might one day. But as of now, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Well, Chris, have you seen Johnny Tsunami?
I have
Disney
not.
Channel?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You guys are killing me.
Well, Austin.
Why would you see
this? Dude, this is like because it's like up there with Brink is like one of the best Disney Channel original movies. It's awesome. Yeah, like this is right up there with like Brink and Smart House is like one of the best like Disney Channel movies. I said we were stretching the list. We initially put it, so we included some TV shit like which we usually don't. But I wanted to include this because I think it's a really solid like snowboarding movie. Because it's about this like surfer who gets dumped into his dad and all moves him to Vermont, so he starts snowboarding instead when he's supposed to be skiing at the prep school, and but he wants to snowboard instead because it's similar to surfing, and but it's actually got like a really solid cast. I think Brendan Baker, who plays Johnny, is pretty good. Yeah, Kerry Tagawa plays the actual Johnny Tsunami, his grandpa. He's great. He was Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. He shows up in a lot of stuff in the 90s. And freaking Chosen from Karate Kid 2 and Cobra Kai is his dad. Like Yuji Okamoto.
Wow.
He's great. Yeah, but he plays kind of a nerdy dad. But yeah, it's got a really solid cast. I just think it's a decent little story. Like it's well acted. Like I'm not gonna put it like S tier or anything, but I think it's a solid A. Like I think it's actually one of the better. Again, like I said, one of the better Disney Channel outings, and it's pretty good. So I'll give it an A.
Yeah.
Wow, so based on that, I will definitely check this out, sir.
Do you
Yeah,
I mean, have you seen any of those Disney movies like Brink
Absolutely. Yes.
or okay? I think
Yeah.
Johnny Tsunami's kind of up there with Brink. It's one of the better quality ones. I think it's one of the
It is.
higher quality.
It is
Yeah,
good
and then, but my favorite Disney Channel movie is this one that like no one talks about. It's where like Shia LaBeouf played the mentally disabled kid, and he was great in it.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but yeah. And they also have a sequel, which I've never seen the sequel to Johnny Son.
I didn't watch the sequel because I don't want to ruin it. Back on board, I don't want to ruin. He's like skateboarding in that one. I don't want to see that shit. I want to watch him like either surfing or snowboarding.
Yeah,
watch him skateboarding.
Well, I'll just say that I watched this for the first time. It's semi first time. Like I seen like I probably caught it on Disney Channel, and like had it on in the background. I wasn't really paying like super close attention to it back in the day. But like for a Disney Channel movie, like it's like one of the better Disney Channel movies. For an actual movie, it's not a good movie. It's not. It's just like it's bad. Like let's be real here. It's like so like but we are comparing it though to like movies that were released in theaters and like that type of thing. We had to kind of stretch here. So I mean, but it has a lot of like comparisons to like Airborne. I feel like they're kind of like a fish out of water, where like he's a surfer, but then yet his parents move him to like a colder climate, so his only choice is to go snowboarding, which is the closest thing to surfing.
Come on, it has one of your favorite things, like you loved in Better Off Dead. It's a final like downhill race, snowboarding versus skiing.
That is
it's
cool.
It's like your favorite things in movies.
Yeah, that's my favorite
it's like
part
one
of
your favorite
it, for
things.
sure. And also like the guy that plays the grandpa, like I thought he was the strongest actor in the whole movie. Like I thought
He is.
was like
Well, yeah,
he was like really
Shank's
solid,
son, bro.
And, yeah. And then like I kind of forgot that the guy that plays his dad was actually chosen to like halfway through, and then it kind of
it didn't click for me for years, and then I was like, oh, that's goddamn Chosen.
Yeah,
that's him. Yeah,
but
like it's him.
But he has some bad acting in it though. Like the dad does not act good. Like he's bad. So it's just but do like his best friend too, like Lee Thompson or whatever, that is like black best friend. Like he's fun in it, and then it's a fun movie if you kind of just like think of it like in the vein as like one of the like best Disney Channel movies, whereas Disney Channel movies are not typically that good, but for a Disney Channel movie it's solid. But if we're comparing it to all of these movies that are on here, for me I think C is about like where it should go, because I think people rank it higher because they have a lot of nostalgia factor for it. They saw it at a time when they're in high school or middle school or whatever, and so they're really high on it. But it's a lot of nostalgia though that plays into it. So I think C is about perfect for me. So.
Yeah, too, and then the Shia LaBeouf movie I was talking about was called True Confessions.
I've never even heard of it. All right,
I'll have to check it out. Yeah. But we have 2 C's and an A, so maybe it like might bump up into B. Maybe like I don't know. Like we give it like a B since there's nothing there. So
it's way more entertaining than MVP. Like way more entertaining.
Yeah, way more
like it deserves to be at least 2 notches above MVP. It's way more entertaining than that movie.
Yeah,
it's not boring.
True. Yeah. But let's see. Who's up now?
Richie, I believe. Yeah.
So I can either bring up because we only do the fast round, we don't usually bring up shit. And there is a good movie I want to bring up that I can bring up, but like I might take this time to bring up a movie that was disappointing given the cast and pretty shit. One of the movies I watched before everything shut down, and man, I kind of wish I didn't waste my time if I knew that the world would change, and that's
Downhill.
You're talking about downhill. Downhill.
Downhill.
I don't know how bad, but
it's well, you know, like you got like the comedic powerhouses of Julie Louis-Dreyfus and and Will Ferrell, and like, you think, oh, what's their charisma? They make a great movie. It's like, no, it's not. It's like it's not really what's a sports movie necessarily. It's just like it's a remake of I think it's a Swedish film called Force Majeure, and that's a way better movie. But like, yeah, it's just like the family goes on this holiday, but in the midst of it, they're sort of their marriage is breaking down. So it's just like two unlikable characters arguing the whole time. It's not entertaining. It's just boring. And it's just it's just lifeless. It just sucks. I wouldn't say F, but I would say D. It's not a good movie at all. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, Chris, have you seen Downhill?
I actually did. Now that I think about it, and I want to love it. The cast is solid, but it was so depressing. It was just like it was unbearable.
Really depressing.
I mean, I would definitely. Yeah, as I said, I went into it like this is a great cast, solid, amazing. But the writing was horrible. There wasn't anything really redeemable about it. I would even put it behind Love Guru.
MVP.
Love Guru.
Oh, wow.
And Love Guru at least has something there.
Behind Love Guru. All right.
Yep.
F. Well, Austin, have you seen it?
Nah, I skipped that one. I once I saw how bad reviews it was getting, and the bad reviews were actually like really bad when I was reading them. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'd rather watch shit like MVP and come report back on that. Like, I don't want to watch some boring, nothing happening movie. I mean, like MVP's boring too, but like, you know, like I'd rather watch a boring monkey movie than a boring like fucking Will Ferrell like nothing happening movie. Yeah.
Well, for me, like. I watched it for the first time actually this morning, and like I wasn't even sure what this movie was supposed to be. Like I don't know if it's supposed to be a comedy or a drama or like what was it really supposed to be. Like I couldn't really tell, and I think it's kind of supposed to be like drama with comedy elements. Maybe I'm not totally sure though, and like it's. I'll just say that I didn't hate this movie though, but I didn't love it by any means though. I thought that it was fine. Like it just. Like, I mean, if you just kind of take it for what it is and you don't really expect too much out of it, I mean, you can have some enjoyment out of it. At least I did a little bit. And like, they did waste a couple of characters. Like, they had Zach Woods in the movie. And, like, if anyone knows Zach Woods, like, he's from the Office and then also Silicon Valley. And he plays Jared in Silicon Valley. And, like that guy, like, if you've seen him, like, do stand-up or any of it, it was like late night interviews. That guy's laugh out loud hilarious. Like he is so funny. And then they kind of waste his character. Like I wish he would have had a little more to do because I freaking love Zach Woods. But and then like probably my favorite character was Julie Louis-Dreyfus and like it was, like she was just kind of like meh, like just kind of like okay at best. So yeah, for me, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. So I'll give it a C. Like it was just fine. So. But Ross, have you seen it?
No, I have not. And then I usually like movies where the characters are now like we're like unlikable in the movies, like kind of depressing. If I know I'm getting into that, this movie's marketed as a comedy. So then like when I was reading reviews,
it is kind of
like Marriage Story. I love Marriage Story, but that was not marketed, as this comedy about a couple breaking up. Downhill's about a couple breaking up apparently. It's not, like as gripping as Marriage Story. And I heard it's not funny. So I'm gonna put it in the haven't seen though, but I'm not gonna waste my time checking it out now.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing, and it's not really like they don't even do a good job of like the whole breakup aspect of it. Really, I mean, it's just kind of
they don't
not very good. Yeah.
So Marriage Story did it better.
Yeah. Marriage Story was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Compared to Downhill. Yeah, like leaps and bounds better. But yeah, we had a C, a D, and an F. So I think D it'll probably stay in the D. So it's on the level as MVP, most valuable.
Yeah, right.
For some reason, I can't feel like right having it lower than that, so I'm gonna put it there. But it's D tier.
Downhill's probably better made than MVP. It's kind of higher budget,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure, but production.
Got a bit of unfair advantage. Probably got more money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's got more money. Better
Yeah.
acting, I'm sure, but yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, because like I just do not think that like Julia Louis-Dreyfus is just funny. I actually think she's a really great actress.
oh yeah.
Well, I think
But,
she
great.
just needs to stick to TV. Like she does the Veep thing, and you know all that stuff. Like just be
Yeah.
the funny TV person. Like every time she kind of ventures into movies, it just doesn't work.
Christine.
And she's genuinely
So I
funny.
remember
But
that one she did though was actually really good. It was with James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That one's good too.
She's generally funny, but yeah, I think that the Downhill doesn't showcase those talents in either actor at all. So it's like, oh, let's put these two comedic powerhouses in a very depressing film about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and now Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like starting to pop up in some Marvel movies as like a minor character. I guess
I love it.
It's kind of interesting. Yeah. But we'll throw it back to Chris though. If you got one more before the Hail Mary round, you want to talk about?
God, trying to think.
Go for a good one. Or you go
Blades
for a
of
bad
Glory.
One? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's like from what's left. Sure.
Blades of Glory is horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
You don't like it.
I'm sorry, there really isn't anything redeeming about it. I would say, right there. It's probably D. It's not quite F. I mean, it's just, but it's not any better than MVP.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Austin, what do you think?
I disagree. I think Blades of Glory is more in tune with on our basketball episode we talked about semi-pro, and I know it was in kind of the string of Will Ferrell does every sport or whatever. I think Blades of Glory is like kind of underrated. I think it's not bad. Like it's really silly and stupid, but it again, much like semi-pro, it kind of works. I think it works more than it doesn't work. I'm not saying it's like an amazing movie, but I think it's kind of in that same boat as semi-pro where it's kind of underrated. I'd put it more in like a B tier. I think it's not bad. It's just kind of the last hurrah for John Heater before he kind of fell off the earth. Like this and like what Mr. Woodcock or whatever whatever that other one he was in was like. School for Scout, yeah, whatever it was called. Those are fucking movies are interchangeable. Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of the last hurrah of that. And but I think Amy Poehler's really funny in it. Like there's some good side people. Yeah. I would go higher than that. I don't think it's all garbage. Like I'd go B for Blades of Glory. I think it's all right.
Yeah, and yeah, for me too. Like I would rate it a lot higher too. I'm just more of a Blades of Glory. I mean, no, I'm more of a John Heater fan because of Napoleon Dynamite, because like that was filmed close to home, and my cousin's in the movie, all that stuff, and that's where he like got his success from to start his career. But I mean, yeah, like I think that it's a lot of fun though. Like just seeing him do like the mild kind of sexual innuendo kind of things on the ice. He's holding them up by the crotch and like doing all this weird stuff, and then the Amy Poehler stuff's pretty good too. Like just seeing like Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell, which I think are a real life couple, I want to say, but they're like chasing them around and like trying to run like outside of the ice on skates and stuff. And then you have some kind of just fun kind of character actors pop up. Craig T. Nelson is the coach. You got Nick Swartzen. You got William Fichtner in there. So like you got some like fun character actors. And
yeah.
Also, shout out Jenna Fisher too. So like you get a scene where like she's pretty dang attractive in it, I'll say. But yeah, like I don't love this movie, but I don't hate it. But I do like it more than I don't like it. So I don't know. Like I'm almost tempted to give it a B, I think, because it's not quite as good as Goon and Slapshot up there in the A tier. So I'd say B. Yeah. But Ross?
I would put this in the B. I actually think this movie is really funny. Like during the press conference, like when they ask him, "So, are you two officially dating?" And then he goes like, "Not all skaters are gay." This movie is still like really. I actually think that this is like probably like one of Johnny Heater's funniest movies. And this movie, I remember, like I laughed a lot more than I thought I would. But still, like anything with Craig T. Nelson, William Fichtner, I will always like. But but still, this movie's actually pretty darn funny too.
Yeah, I would agree. But Richie, what do you think?
Like going into this episode, I knew we were probably talking about Blaze of Glory, and I was about to make the exact same point Austin did. I was like, I put this in the same camp. I put this in the same camp as semi-pro, where I think people. I don't think the reviews are as bad as the actual
movie is.
movie.
Yeah.
I think people need to go back.
Chaz Michael Michaels.
I think maybe people just took it too seriously. It's meant to be dumb. It's meant to be dumb. It's meant to be silly, and I think it works. I think the chemistry between Will Ferrell and John Heder works. I really like Amy Poehler and Will Arnett as the sort of competitor, their rivals in this movie. I think they're really funny. I never got to hate this movie. I think it's dumb, but in the right way. And I would put I would say B, but if it's even I probably wouldn't put an S tier, but if it's higher than B, if it's A, I wouldn't mind that either. But I would say B. But Blaze of Glory is fine.
Yeah,
and he has the quote where before the Jay-Z song that's like no one knows what it means, but it's provocative. And it gets people going or whatever. He has that quote. Yeah. So yeah. Well, I mean, we got an F tier and an F vote, but then a bunch of B's. So
a bunch of B's. So.
Yeah.
Which one though was funnier though, Blaze of Glory or Night at the Roxbury?
For me,
I don't think the Night of the Roxbury movie is as good as people make it out. Like the cult of that movie makes it out to be. Like I like it more in sketch form. Like on SNL than an actual movie. Because it was so early, Will Ferrell. I'd rather watch something like Blaze of Glory or Semi-Pro, honestly, than
on the same level for me. Like that one's tough actually. Like I put those two on the same because I'm part of the cult following for Night at the Roxbury. That's like one of the movies I grew up watching a lot. So, but so yeah, we'll throw it back over to Austin. You got one more you want to?
I think the only other quality one, because there's not a whole lot left, honestly, because there's a lot of that 80s shit that I just didn't get a chance to watch. Ski School, that I don't give a fuck about Ski School, or Hot Dog movie, whatever. I don't think it would have a chance to make anything good, anyways. We have to talk about the fact that me and Jordan were talking about the two movies that have the exact same poster. That there's two different movies. Extreme Ops and X Team have the exact same poster, but it's two different movies. Yeah, so we noticed that. He sent me that picture. So look at where he's pointing.
What is the one though with the guy
and then
carrying
over here?
The girl?
You see that?
But look at the bottom corner.
Oh my god, you're right.
But they have the exact same poster, and this is for real.
Here, I want to zoom it in so you can actually see it.
Yeah, I saw it too. What's with the guy carrying the girl? It looks like a 70s poster.
Oh yeah, wasn't that?
Yeah, we can see it here. So that you got the Extreme Ops.
Look, it's the guy with the helicopter and the guy jumping out of the helicopter. The only difference is the people on the poster in the bottom. They just changed the people on the poster.
And then they also, you're right.
Yeah, but they're totally different casts, though. It's just weird, yeah, and kind of different movies. But anyways,
yeah. Anyways, sorry, we just had to point that out before the episode was. I guess the only one I would shoot for A or something, maybe Eddie the Eagle. Eddie the Eagle's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a step above, the rest of the stuff kind of left on the list. I would shoot for maybe A tier, honorable mention kind of territory. The chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Taron Egerton. Taron Egerton's he's good when he kind of sinks his teeth into a role, as we've seen with stuff like Rocket Man or whatever. He's a nice up and coming actor, and Hugh Jackman's always fun. Especially when he gets to be a little more loose, he's kind of laid back in this one and fun. And Christopher Walken kind of shows up for a little bit. Compared to a lot of the other stuff on the list, I think it's a fairly standard kind of biopic type of thing. I don't think it's going to knock your socks off. It doesn't do anything groundbreaking. But as far as the quality of the stuff on the rest of this list, I think it's one of the last ones that I think is maybe a cut above the other ones. So I'd go for an A tier for Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I actually love Eddie the Eagle. I'd actually say S tier. I freaking love Eddie the Eagle.
Okay.
And Taron Egerton, he's great in it. Just it's playing this really nerdy guy, but he brings a lot of heart to it too, and like there's a lot of quotes that like kind of like bring the like heart while Hugh Jackman's kind of bringing more to the comedy, but also brings a lot of confidence too. Like Hugh Jackman just like he comes in and he goes right off the ski jump, and he's like not afraid to do it because he's a former like Olympic athlete and stuff. But then you have just like Taron Egerton just giving like weird looks to the camera and and then kind of saying some like pretty inspirational stuff. Like no matter how many people say you can't do something, use it as inspiration to prove them wrong, or like a lot of that kind of stuff. And so yeah, and like I like a lot of the training stuff too. How like Hugh Jackman's always drinking and like has some kind of weird kind of off the cuff like training methods that are like fun to watch and stuff. So yeah, like I think that the Eddie the Eagle's great. Like I saw it actually twice in theaters. Like when I saw it, I was working at Enemy there at the time, but I liked it enough to want to go back and watch it a second time, just actually on my own after I saw it. So I didn't even go with anyone. So yeah, so I would say S tier for Eddie the Eagle. Yeah.
All right.
Ross?
I've tried to watch this movie 5 times, so I cannot comment. Is because like something always happens that stops me from watching it. Like I'll get a phone call and I'll forget that I had it on, or or I'll get busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I do. It is on my
stuff.
list. It's pretty high up on my list. So
Yeah. Richie?
Yeah, like when I was debating whether to bring up talk about downsizing, and then the other movie I was going to bring up was
Eddie the Eagle. Yeah, right.
So yeah, like this movie's great. Hugh Jackman's great in this movie. It's not my Australian bias; he's just good in this movie. Christopher Walken's pretty good in this movie, and the small role he has. And Taron Egerton's really good. It's just his sort of upwards trajectory as a movie star, and he proves that he can handle it. And it's pretty cool. It's just a pretty cool story about Eddie Eagle. And it's not like the sort of maybe got like maybe, and again, it's probably like sort of got cool ratings wise, where it's like not like the most, definitely like honestly, it's not highlight the most sort of talented person in that sort of field or whatever. It's just but highlighting it, a cool, just highlighting a very cool story with it, within that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that's like, oh wait, you have to always highlight sort of winners. But yeah, it's just it's a really fun story, really entertaining. So yeah, I would almost actually, yeah, why not? I would say S tier as well.
Yeah. And also, I like how like he's like trying out all these different sports, and then he's like just wants to make it to the Olympics, so he just like gives the ski jumping a shot, and like he ends up being able to qualify. So it's kind of a cool like true story. But Chris, what do you think? For Eddie
I
the
actually
Eagle?
kind of forgot about Eddie Eagle. I love this movie. It definitely surprised me at the time, and it's a pretty awesome movie. I would for sure say it's an S tier as well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, that might be the last one to scoot up there, which is kind of perfect because we had 9, now we got 10. So yeah, there you go. All right,
Nice.
Well, there's your 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I can.
Jordan, anything else, Jordan? Or I don't know if there's anything else you've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, I just want to talk about one that like
Snow Dogs.
Snow Dogs.
No.
8
But like I
Below,
want to talk about
Paul Walker.
Out
Yeah.
cold.
Well, like I'm gonna talk about one that like probably won't get brought up otherwise, but I want to talk about this movie called Extreme Days. So like this movie, like it's not a good movie, but it's one that I just kind of grew up watching for whatever reason. Yeah, as Dante Bosco in it, who played Rufio from Hook, and like this movie, like just hard to really like know where to really put it because it is a bad movie, but at the same time, like it's just fun. Like these guys are going on a road trip, and they make all these stops at like a couple different ski resorts to go snowboarding, and then they stop to do like some like riding like dirt bikes through some sand dunes, and they do some skateboarding, like a bunch of different things. But like the opening scene's a lot of fun because they're combining snowboarding with paintballing, which I thought was like really, really cool. Like I've always wanted to actually try that. But the thing that makes it bad though is that like whenever they like cut to any of the extreme sports stuff. It's not even any of the actors. They just cut to like stock footage of like people riding motorcycles, and they like frame it to like be them, but it's like clearly not them. Like they just start playing some like random rock music or punk rock music while they're just going off jumps and all this stuff. But it's just random people from like just like stock footage, and so like it's not good. But like for me though, I have a little bit of a nostalgia for it, so I like it better than a couple of these movies. So for me, I'd give it a D. Like I like it better than like MVP. Like it's actually entertaining, and there's a little bit of a love story too in it. So
you can put it in the C tier. It's looking a little lonely there.
Yeah,
if you
put
want
the
to
C.
put the C.
Yeah, put it in the C.
I'm okay. I'm okay with
but
that.
I doubt anyone else on the panel has seen it. Like I'd be shocked. You have to hunt this movie down.
You talked about it enough. I think I saw some clips on YouTube, but I didn't watch like the entire movie.
I
and
feel like I
has
need
that,
to
like,
check it out now.
There's literally there was this plethora of stuff from the early 2000s that's like extreme this and extreme that, because everything was about extreme sports and the X Games and all this shit. Everything was extreme Doritos and all this shit, like the fucking foods that came out around that time. Just like,
and if it wasn't like extreme stuff, that people were trying to capitalize on the Fast and Furious like craze. So like, oh, now we will do Fast and Furious with motorbike, with torque and
biker boys. Holy shit!
Yeah. But I will say though, this is one of those movies that's like so bad that it's actually good. Like it's actually fun to watch. Like because it's like that bad, but it's like still kind of fun in a weird way. So yeah, like it's a guilty pleasure. So if you're ever in the mood to watch a movie that's so bad it's good, I would recommend Extreme Days. So.
Oh yeah, too. And then the Rotten Tomato score is not awful either.
What does it have?
43.
All right, yeah, it's got a 43%.
Yeah, but the meta score is 17. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it for the Hail Mary round because we'll
That's fine.
I don't know if there's anything we're gonna Hail Mary out of this.
I don't know. No, we can skip that whole thing.
In the F though, I could put one in the F.
No, has anybody else seen Extreme Days? No.
Yeah. No.
That's fine. You can leave it in C. I don't care. It's not gonna make like the top anyways. Yeah. That's fine.
But I mean, like Snow Dogs would be an F for me. An F.
Yeah, but is there any movies anyone would nominate for the S or the A tier here? Because I think we.
I don't know if that's A. I would bring up something I saw last night. It's pretty charming. I don't think anyone's seen it. It's a pretty charming movie. Like Chalet Girl. It's an alright movie.
Oh yeah.
It's got a pretty good cast. Like
Chalet Girl.
Felicity Jones.
Yeah.
Bill Nighy's in this movie. Ed Westwick. You put in Chuck Bass from Gossip Girl. Bill Bailey, really famous English comedians in this movie. His dad.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's just about this. A woman who her mum dies in a car accident, and so she lives with the dad, and they sort of need to pay the bills. So she goes on to this like sort of like ski lodge and meets these people, and then like she's a professional snowboarder as well. So and then she it's got its moments. It's a cool small little movie, but I don't know if I would ever I mean maybe like based on like all the other ones, it's certainly better than a lot of the other ones that got lists. So I don't know. It maybe be a solid B. I don't know if it's an A, but yeah, it's a good movie to check out. I thought I'd bring it up. And also, Ice Castle is a good movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
That movie you're talking about is directed by Phil Trail, who directed All About Steve, that movie that like swept the Razzies that year.
Yeah.
Swept
it,
It's better than all that, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, if there are Extreme Days in there, we'll just throw up Chalet Girl for fun. We'll put it in the B tier, sure.
I do though see a movie that's not even a sports movie on there though.
Well, I know. We sudden death.
Oh yeah.
We were stretching. I know it's Die Hard in a hockey arena, so that's the only reason we put it on there. But like,
it's a hockey arena.
They're playing hockey during the movie, but yeah, he has nothing to do with the actual hockey in the movie.
It's still, I still like the movie. It's just not one,
No, I like it, but it's not a winter sports movie. Yeah, I understand that. We kind of threw it in there as a goof. It's like, it's Die Hard in a hockey arena.
I do want to shout out Snowboard Academy for like one of the better Ernest movies. Like as far as the Ernest movie goes, he's just one of the ski patrol guys, and like it's pretty fun and like like actually pretty funny. If I were to rank it among all the Ernest movies out there, it'd be at the top. It'd be my top 5 at least, or like top
But
3.
it's not an Ernest movie.
pretty good.
What do you mean, Jim Varney
Yeah.
movies? It's not an Ernest
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Well, no, it's not an Ernest movie, but it has a lot of that like vein. He's essentially playing the same character. I mean, it's not an Ernest movie, but he's doing the whole wackiness and all the stuff that Ernest usually does. So yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to just throw it out there, but it's not going to make it to anything. So I think
Wow, that movie has a
basically
2.6 on IMDb. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Network Academy.
You're gonna watch
Wow.
it right now.
Oh,
know
yeah.
what,
Well,
though?
for me, I have to watch. I got to watch it now.
You know what
Yeah, you should watch it.
the most about Snow Dogs,
Actually,
though? It was the actor's last performance, and that actor's amazing. And that's James Coburn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
kinda
Well, I mean,
like-
we kind of been doing it, but like, does anybody have anything else they would nominate for A or S, like on the list at all? Because I won't bother going person by person. Just does anybody have anything on that list that they think I don't? No.
No, but I do think what we need to vote on, though, we need to vote from which movie from the B tier gets bumped up to an honorable mention.
Johnny Tsunami, motherfuckers.
Because there's a movie that I put in the like almost A.
Dude, Johnny
because
Tsunami.
It is harmless, which is Ice Princess. That movie's actually not too bad.
Okay.
Never
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah. Well, for
Yeah,
me,
but
I'd vote
Johnny Tsunami.
for.
Let's do Johnny
I'd
Tsunami.
vote Blades of Glory. Honestly, I think it's a better movie than Johnny
Yeah,
Tsunami.
I would-
But we could have Johnny Tsunami up there for nostalgia.
Hold on. We'll make it official. Everybody will say, okay, Johnny Tsunami, Blades of Glory, or Chalet Girl. They're all in the B tier. Ross, which one gets bumped?
Johnny Tsunami.
Okay, Richie.
Blades of Glory.
Johnny
Chris.
Tsunami.
Chris.
I go Johnny Tsunami. I think it's more entertaining than Blades of Glory.
I'd say Blades of Glory, but I do think that it'll be fun to have Johnny Tsunami just in the poll, just to get people's like thoughts and reactions on it.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Malcolm,
Nostalgia
yeah.
list.
Yeah.
You know
All
that
right,
Malcolm.
well,
you know
throw
that
it up
Malcolm
there.
All right.
goes crazy over our list.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. But yeah, okay. So we got our 3 honorable mentions pretty much. So that's easy.
Wanna rank
And then
the
so
S
yeah,
tier?
we'll just be ranking the S tier. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go around and we'll first give everybody's number 1. What would you put at the top of the list? And we'll see if anything gets a majority. So Ross, what would you go number 1? Because it was kind of all over the place as far as the voting. So Ross, what would be your number 1 top of the list?
I Tanya.
Okay, Richie,
As much as I like Tonya, I think that's number 2. I think Cool Running.
Yeah.
Chris.
Iron Will.
Awesome.
Do I go nostalgia or what I think is the better movie?
Up to you.
I Tanya.
Go with your
I
heart.
Tanya.
Yeah. Well, for me, like I would want to vote D2, but I know that I'm not going to get any like support for it being number 1. So out of the ones you guys said, I'd say Cool Runnings.
Okay, so maybe I Tanya and Cool Runnings bump up to 1 and 2, and then maybe we'll vote on those individually and see.
Yeah.
Okay, so bump those up to 1 and 2, and then we'll go around and see what would be number 1, and majority will just rule on that one since we got 5, so it won't be even. So Ross,
but all of
Cool
us,
Runnings or I Tanya? Yeah, I mean,
I Tanya. I think is the best movie on here.
okay, Richie.
Yeah, I'd still. Yeah, actually, no, I'm gonna go I Tonya to be honest.
Okay,
Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
I Tanya. I Tanya.
I would say Cool Runnings, but I think
We'll flip it.
I Tanya. It is because what I was going to say is that like Chris hasn't seen I Tanya, and we've all seen Cool Running, but then again though, I Tanya just got more votes, so we'll throw
I
it.
Tanya, though, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're seeing an I
All
Tanya
right.
is amazing.
We have the top 2, so do you want to vote on our third? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'll start to go back to the votes now that we've got our 1 and 2. So let's see. So Iron. Let me go back to the votes. Iron Will had 4 S's, so it's pretty high. Miracle had 4 S's and an A. Let me see here. D2 had 3 S's and 2 A's. D2 and D3 had the lowest of the two Mighty Ducks movie, or the three Mighty Ducks movies. Mighty Ducks had a squeak for S tier, so Mighty Ducks is probably going to get bumped. So
Mighty Ducks will probably move into the third place because
Mighty Ducks had five S's.
Yeah.
And then Iron Will and Miracle both had roughly the same. Mystery Alaska didn't have as many. Mystery Alaska had 2 S's, but there was only 2 votes. So I think Mystery Alaska might get bumped to like the number 9 or 10 slot, just because of lack of votes. Honestly,
the 10th spot because of lack of votes. Yeah.
Now Goon swept as well, so Goon is going to get bumped. Goon had 5 S tier votes as well, so Goon might actually go up near Iron Will and above Miracle, because Miracle had 4 S's and an A, so somewhere around there. And then Eddie the Eagle just kind of scooted in with 3 S's and an A. So I think Eddie the Eagle might get bumped above Mystery Alaska. So bump that above Mystery Alaska. And then I'm okay with putting D2 and D3 next to each other, but I'm fine with that. D2 had higher votes than D3. So overall. So
for
me,
I think that looks perfect. I mean,
that's perfect.
I'm really happy with it.
I'm happy Iron Will made it into there.
Yeah, Iron Will made it. Yeah, it's one of the better quality movies. So I think I'm pretty happy with that too. That works for me.
Yeah, now I just want to go back and watch I, Tonya. Like, I really want to watch that.
It's really, I think it's the best quality movie on there. I mean, I understand the nostalgia for Cool Runnings, but if you were to do pound for pound, like, what's the better actual movie? It's why I just put I, Tonya there. But I mean, Cool Runnings is the number one as far as like the nostalgia, feel good, fun movie. That we all know and love, which is it's fine. It's still up there. So
but that's a solid list. So
all right, break it down.
Yeah, do you want to break it down, Austin?
Yeah. So our top 10 and our honorable mentions for the Winter Sports Edition of Tier Ranker Fights. At number 1, we've got Margot Robbie and I, Tonya. Number 2, we've got the nostalgia favorite Cool Runnings. Number 3, we've got the Disney movie The Mighty Ducks. Number 4, Sean William Scott in Goon. Number 5, 1994's Iron Will, also from Disney. At number 6, we've got the True Story Miracle. At 7 and 8, we've got D2 The Mighty Ducks and D3 The Mighty Ducks, back to back. The other Mighty Ducks films, rounding out that top 10. And number 9, we've got the True Story of Eddie the Eagle. And number 10, we've got the underrated Mystery Alaska. And our honorable mentions for the evening are the 70s classic Slapshot, the Goon sequel, Goon Last of the Enforcers, and the Disney Channel original movie just sliding in there, Johnny Tsunami. All right. Nice,
guys. Yeah.
All right, good job, guys.
Disney dominated the list. You know how many Disney movies are on there?
There's a lot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of Disney movies on there.
Miracle,
it is.
But I also want to watch Mystery Alaska because it's one that I just overlooked that I actually wanted to see.
I do too.
So
it's a fun movie.
But
All
right, nicely done. Sounds good.
I think that'll do it for us tonight. So not too bad. So now we just encourage people to go check out the Olympics, like support your home country, like even though that's like there might be some controversy going around with like having it in China, like still watch it and support it. So that's not
100%. I agree.
It's not getting talked enough about. I feel like not many people are paying that close attention to it. So but anyways, so we'll just go around the horn. You can just tell us where we can find you if you have anything you want to promote. So we'll start with Ross. Where can we find you?
Find me at this new channel that I'm a co-host of. It's called Mega Movie Z, and then the logo on there, because like there are a lot of them, is the one with the guy with Taron Egerton as Eggsy. Yeah, so Mega Movie Z.
Nice.
All right.
Richie, where can we find you?
Yeah.
What's the next episode that you're on this channel, Richie?
Right.
On Friday, you can find me on Friday. Friday, talking about films on tournament fights.
One location.
Films in one location. Should be fun. A lot of those. So that'd be good fun. Then I'm also on the romantic comedy one next week. Tier ranking next week. So I'm on a lot. And also if I'm not on there, I'm on Jordan Owen's channel, doing wrestling trivia or movie trivia or what have you. I've got a movie trivia thing coming up tomorrow for a tournament with against a guy named Michael Turner, who's like we always cut it close, but he's always beaten me. So maybe one of these days I'll beat him. Hopefully. So keep your eye out for that. And then I'll be around. Yeah,
sounds good. Well, Chris, where can we find you?
Well, we have all that scrolling information right beneath
Yeah,
us.
right.
We started scrolling in.
Yeah.
Instagram, cscott1128. I'm also on Twitter at writer84. Yep, and a writer_84. You can follow me on there as well, guys. And I can't encourage this enough. Please like our channel and please hit that little bell because
subscribe, subscribe,
Jordan,
bell, everything.
Austin, everyone else does some amazing content on this channel. Guys, we do some not just movie tier record fights. We do other fun shows as well. So I have no doubt you'll find something you'll love. And of course, feel free to comment and stuff as you watch these because we'll throw those comments up there. We'll make you famous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, some of the shows that we have aren't always on a set schedule. We've been doing this new little impromptu game, Top 12 Frenzied. We have Jacob Barber's podcast that isn't necessarily on a set schedule. So having the little bell kind of will keep you notified of when those things air. So you get a little notification about it. So, but Austin, where can we find you?
Yeah, so obviously here on this channel, but you just mentioned Jacob Barber. I do a podcast about movies with him, which you can find here on the Movie Hero Network. We just did an episode that dropped where we just did A to Z movie recommendations. We each picked something A to Z, and we were just we try to keep it positive over on that channel, just giving recommendations, talking about movies we like, giving you something to check out. So check that out. And then our next episode, we don't know exactly when we're doing it, probably some point this weekend, but we'll just be talking about sequels that don't get talked about enough. So not the typical, everybody talks about Dark Knight and Terminator 2 and Godfather 2, all that stuff. We're just going to be talking about other sequels that we think deserve some recognition, that are, maybe kind of unsung sequels. So we'll be talking about that. And then myself and Henry Confidential over on the Henry Confidential show, we just recorded an episode right before we did this. We ranked Let's Rank Stuff. So we ranked Alien and Predator movies all together. We called it Alien versus Predator. So we ranked all together. We went 2 hours, had a lot of fun with that. Some crazy rankings. So I'm sure if you like those franchises, check that out. And next week we'll be doing Kevin Smith movies. So 13 Kevin Smith movies. So we're going to be ranking in one big thing. So that'll be interesting too. So check that out as well.
Yeah, for sure. And also one of the things I wanted to say about you and Jacob Barber, like when you're giving all those movie recommendations, you always are sure to tell us where we can find it on streaming and everything. So
we try to look it up as we go, just to see if they're streaming anywhere. I own a lot of these, but we want to be conscious of people who don't collect physical media like myself or Jacob or whoever.
There's a site where it tells you where a movie's streaming. It's called Just Watch.
I usually at least try to Google it. Google it has that feature where it says watch movie, and I try to just quickly see if it's free anywhere. And some of the ones we say are free on Tubi or Prime or whatever. We try to at least mention that. So if anybody wants to jot it down in a note app or something and check them out, because we want people to see these movies that we recommend. So we at least try to do that and be conscious of that. I hear a lot of other podcasts do that too. So I just figure it's a fun thing to do. So jot them down, look them up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously you can find us on all the socials at Movie Hero 2121. You can find the poll with the top 10 and our 3 honorable mentions over in the Schmodown Friends and Family group on Facebook. Will be up sometime tomorrow. You can watch for that. And then just to give you a little preview of some topics we have coming up. So Richie already mentioned the movie set in one location, so that'll be Friday at the same time at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Usually all of these types of shows will always be at the same time unless we say otherwise. But and then for Valentine's Day next week, we'll be doing part 1 of our best rom-com series, because there's so many freaking rom-coms. When I put together the list that we decided to do the same thing that we're doing for the One Crazy Day and Night movies. We're going to take 100 128 of them. We put them into the randomizer. The first 64 will be on part 1. The second 64 will be on part 2. Then we're going to do a championship half tournament with the Sweet 16 from each of those. So you can watch for that. And then we also have the next episode of our Oscar series will be covering all the best picture nominees from 2003 to 2012. So we'll have that. And then we also have our comedy championship coming up. Where we have our top 10 from every decade from now back into the 70s. We're going to have the top 10 in a championship tier ranker fight. Then we also have best sitcoms of the 2000s. So that one had a lot of stuff like Malcolm in the Middle, that 70s show, like a lot of those types of shows in The Office. So we're talking about those. Then we're also doing one that's going to be best comic books set in a shared universe. So we already had an episode of all the non-shared universe comic book movies that we're going to be doing, all the Marvel, the DC, X-Men, all those ones in a shared universe. So that's coming up. And then we're also doing one of our panelists, Jordan Owens, we're going to be doing his top 64 movies coming up on March 4th. So you can watch for that too. So
you better have Ready to Rumble on there. You better have Ready to Rumble on there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we have room on a couple of those. So if you heard any topics that you like, we can try to get you on. Some are already full, like the comic book movie one filled up pretty quick, but there's a couple that we still have some spots on. So you can just hit me up. You can DM me or reach out on any of our social media and you can let me know. So yeah, but this has been a fun time. So thanks again to all you guys for being on the episode tonight. I'm glad we finally got around to talking about this while the Olympics were still in full effect. So yeah, but that'll do it for us tonight. So for Ross, for Richie, for Chris, for Austin, I've been Jordan Movie Hero Anderson, and we'll see you next time.